Everybody, welcome to the Wasted Talent NFL Draft Show. How are y'all doing? I hope you're having a good day. That transition, I was like trying to type everything because I was in regiment. I accidentally forgot to take off the @ everyone tag on the stream promos. They were like, "That's review. That's for staff use only." I was like, "Oh shit, my bad." What's up, everybody? Hope y'all are having a great night. We got a few minutes left before we get into this draft. Dude, we had a couple of technical difficulties, but we're going to be with you guys all freaking night, literally until the end of the first round. Jake is also going to be back tomorrow and Sunday, correct? You're going to be doing tomorrow and Sunday with me?
You mean Saturday?
That's what I meant. Tomorrow and Saturday with me?
Okay. I mean, I'll hang out with you on Sunday if you need.
It feels like a Friday, doesn't it? Like, it feels like a Friday.
Yeah, it always does.
It doesn't, like, I wish the draft were on a Friday, and oh my God, Stevie. What in the world? Stevie, you are a madman.
Stevie!
What is happening? Stevie coming in with the 10 gifted subs. Holy shit. Thank you so much, dude. 10 gifted subs. My God, man. You're absolutely amazing. Donato says, what team do you like? I'm wearing a Cowboys jersey. Jake is wearing a Steelers jersey. Brett is a Bears fan. The Bears don't have a first round pick, so sad for Brett. Sorry, Brett. Sorry. Wish the Bears had a first round pick, but they don't. But I there's some crazy stuff that's been happening today. We have some graphics that I want to get into before the draft starts, but there's some crazy stuff that's been happening today. Some rumors about firsts going away. The Texans interested in moving up and back into the top 10 using their 13th pick and other assets. The Giants rumored to be one of the teams that might be involved in that trade, and some other crazy ass shit going on.
Oh man!
But we'll get into that in just a second. But I want to get to some graphics. those alerts are still going. I want to get to some of those graphics real fast before we get the draft started. Jake and I both did our top 5 at all the different skill positions, and we'll get to those in just a second. But like we didn't do offensive line and defense. The only reason we didn't do that is because Jake sent me his top players. But Jake's brain only works in terms of dynasty football, so he forgot to do offensive lineman and defense. And so I'm gonna blame
non-skill position players don't exist. They're a figment of your imagination.
They absolutely do exist. Thank you very much. It's more fun to talk about the top 5 quarterbacks, running backs, and wide receivers. I will be honest. One of the things we're gonna have tonight after guys get drafted, Stevie says Jake's an O-line truther. One of the things I put together is when guys get drafted, we got a little highlight reel that we're going to do. I only put a highlight reel together for the offensive linemen and defense and edge rushers that are going to be drafted, that have a chance to be drafted in the top 10. Everybody else, like guys like Tyler Linderbaum and Tyler, or wait, is it Tyler Linderbaum? Yeah, and Tyler or Trevor Smith or whatever. See, I don't even know their names. Like all the other offensive linemen that are outside of the top 10, I didn't do highlights for them. I was going to. I planned on it. I made lower thirds for it. And then I chose not to because who gives a shit about offensive linemen? Like I care, but I don't want to watch offensive linemen highlights. You know what I mean? But
they don't exist.
They do exist a little bit. So we've got our top 5 in the quarterback, wide receivers, and running backs. That we'll get. Let's go ahead and take a look at Jake's first for a second. Whenever we get the chance, we'll go ahead and take a look at Jake's, and we'll do like a full takeover of that.
Hold on, I'm gonna introduce my jersey.
What is that jersey?
This is my Woodley jersey from I bought it his rookie year, and this is a jersey I wore to the Super Bowl when we beat the Cardinals in Tampa. I'm wearing my lucky jersey, so we draft Jordan Davis at 20.
You're even okay. What would be the thing that would happen in this draft that would make you the saddest? Like, what would make you sad? Is it anything? Is it Jordan Davis or bust or what?
Oh no! If we trade up to draft Kenny Pickett or Matt Corral, and we give up like a 2023 pick, I'm gonna be very upset.
Stevie just said, "Have fun with Malik at 13." LOL.
Yeah, like if we draft Malik at 20 or Kenny Pickett at 20, I'm not going to be like a 10 out of 10 happy.
Right.
But if we trade up to do it and we give up next year's picks, which is a much deeper draft, that's when I'm going to get upset.
That's where you're going to have issues. Okay. Let's go ahead and get to your top 5 real fast in those 3 spots, in the quarterback, running back, and wide receiver position. We'll go ahead and get into that in just a second. So I want you to talk about this once it comes up. talk about this. Like, what were your decisions here? Why did you decide to go with this? Because I think our tops are very similar with like a couple of adjustments here and there.
Uh, well, I think Malik Willis just has the highest ceiling out of any of the quarterbacks, so he's obviously number one.
Mm-hmm.
It really gets muddy from then on out. I don't think Malik Willis is a first round grade, but that doesn't mean he's not going to be a first rounder. We discussed this last week during our mock draft. But I think he's definitely going to go in the first round. Probably one other quarterback goes in the first round. It'll probably be Pickett. But I think Ritter is like the win now quarterback. He's the most ready to play.
Pro ready.
But I think, he has the highest floor, let's say, even though I hate drafting players for floor. But yeah, and then I think Kenny Pickett, I have real issue with him only being a 1 year wonder, and it took him 5 years to put it together.
Yeah.
In a down year for the ACC. So I think that he shows a lot of good attributes, but I'm just not sold on him as a star quarterback, I guess. And then I think Matt Corral and Sam Howell are probably even for me.
They're the same guy.
Matt Corral played in a really simplistic offense. He didn't have to make reads. He RPO'd all the time. If you understand football, RPO is like the best thing you can do for a bad quarterback. RPO is how people think Jimmy Garoppolo and Jared Goff are good quarterbacks. Like, if you're a competent and Nick Foles, they all thrive in RPOs because you fake that you get to choose handing it off or passing, and you generally get put in a really favorable situation with play action passes. So all Matt Corral did was RPOs. That's it. He didn't have to. I mean, he had some highlight plays where like he escapes the rush and makes a bomb throw downfield, but he also doesn't know how to read a defense. And Sam Howell had a great junior year, down season last year, and I don't know. Like, he's got some physical attributes, but I just don't see it as a pro style quarterback. I think all these quarterbacks are not very good, but I'd rather if you're gonna take the one quarterback out of all of them, take the one with the highest ceiling.
Can I just tell you how utterly awful and hurtful it is to see Rachaad White above Isaiah Spiller at number 3 in the running back category?
Yeah, so we'll get to the running backs. I think this is if we did tiers, like that number 5 spot of Tyler Algier, that could be anybody. It could be anybody.
5, yeah.
It could be anybody. There's a big gap between number 5 and the next. So I think Breece is in a tier of his own. I think he's the best running back this class. He's the only running back that has a chance to go in the first round. I think he's a fairly complete back. And then you have the next tier, which I think Kenny Walker, Rachaad White, and Isaiah Spiller are all in that tier. Yeah. I think Kenny Walker is the top of that tier.
Agreed.
I think he has a little bit of a gap between him and the next two. He might be in a tier 2 all by himself, but he's like the best pure runner. He's a Nick Chubb type. Hopefully he can catch some passes at the next level, which would make him even sexier as a fantasy draft pick. But as a pure runner, he's one of the best. And then I think Rachaad White and Isaiah Spiller, this is mostly just a troll. You can put either one of them. I'm not super sold on.
I hate that you just openly admit, hey, it's just me trolling you, Josh. You're the
Of
worst.
Of course. What? Come on. But really, they're interchangeable to me. I think Rachaad White's. Both of them are really good pass catchers. I think that's where Isaiah Spiller kind of looks the most interesting as a fantasy prospect.
Yeah.
I think his running leaves a lot to be desired. And Rachaad White's kind of similar. I don't think he's that great of a runner, but he has really good receiving chops. And then 5, I was just going to say 5 is Tyler Algier. Literally 5 is wherever the next best running back goes. There's no running back is so dependent on situation, whereas wide receiver is more dependent on talent.
You could have Kyron, Zamir, Brian Robinson, Algier here, and it's just kind of like after you get past those top 4, after that it's just kind of like, okay, whatever the next 6, 7 guys are, they're all right. They can all go in this spot.
Yeah, if the Bills decide to draft a running back, the Texans, if the Giants decide to ship off Barkley and take a running back in the 3rd or 4th round, whatever running back has the opportunity to get snaps is really all that matters to me.
Okay, well then let's go ahead and get to your wide receivers real fast. Treylon Burks number 1 overall. I think Stevie said it just a second ago. Wow, Burks number 1. I actually don't hate that. I just think he is the most raw, but he does have the highest ceiling. And it was only a couple of months ago that Treylon Burks was the number 1 wide receiver in this wide receiver group, and then all of a sudden Drake London just skyrocketed. and
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson kind of went up a little bit higher. Jamison's gone, he went way down, and then he's coming back up. It's been really weird the way people have been covering this wide receiver group. But
So
Burks
let me
has-
clarify that these are my top 5 for fantasy purposes,
Oh, yeah,
not
that's
top
right,
5
yeah.
for just out and out talent.
I forgot.
I
about
think
that, yeah.
I think Treylon Burks with his size and speed going to the right team. A lot of teams are trying to mimic that 49ers offense, that Deebo Samuel
Ugh.
do it all wide
Hold
receiver.
on, timeout. Are you looking at Derek Carr right now?
Am I looking at Derek Carr?
Yeah. So the draft is about to start, and Roger Goodell just walked out, and Derek Carr is standing. It's Derek Carr and Darren Waller standing out there next to Roger Goodell. Wait until they do a close up on Derek Carr. He's got like the lion's mane haircut. He fully shaved the sides of his head and left full like we're talking zebra shit. Like, what the hell is going on here?
Oh no.
You got what are you doing, Derek Carr?
Oh, I see it now. Oh no.
He looks like you. Hey, Derek Carr just got done as an extra on Peaky Blinders, apparently.
Yeah, he's over 30. He should know better.
Yeah, right? Like, come on, man. Okay, continue. Go ahead, wide receivers.
Yeah, I just think
Vegas has him now.
yeah, for sure. That's a Vegas ass haircut if I've ever seen one. Yeah, I think Treylon Burks, if he goes, especially like we were talking about in the community mock, if he goes to the Cowboys, love him there. Any pass happy team, but I think that he's a 6'5" Debo possibility.
Yeah,
he played a lot in the slot, but when he was press man on the outside, he beat it. His efficiency rating versus press man on the outside was off the charts. So I think he is, as far as physical talent goes, I like drafting for upside there. Drake London's kind of the opposite. He doesn't have that physical talent other than being tall, but the man just catches everything. He is like a red zone god.
Yeah,
he made every contested catch ever, right? Yeah. And so I think he's more of a film darling. I like him. I like his size. I like he's got good speed for his size, but not like breakaway speed.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, I think he's like I'm not a BMI truther necessarily, but I do. It's one of the attributes. Like if I have a bunch of guys close, I tend to go with the guys who have better BMI. Garrett Wilson kind of reminds me of Devontae Smith last year, who I liked him. I like what he did. He won the Heisman, obviously, but he's just a little slight for his size. I think Garrett Wilson's got the skills to beat those kind of press coverages and stuff and not be too affected by it. Mm-hmm. Great body control, great point of catch. I mean, he's a complete receiver. He's just slight. If he put on 10 more pounds, he'd probably be my number one.
Yeah.
Jamison Williams, love his speed, coming off an injury.
Tough.
Tough. A little tough there. We've just seen so many speed guys go early and just not pan out. Ruggs, John Ross. We've just seen it time and time again where these track stars don't translate to the NFL well. He's a little bit better of a receiver than Ruggs was.
Yep.
But he also has the injury concern now. Yeah, and then Chris, do we decide if it's Chris Olave or Chris Olave?
Olave, yeah, it's Olave.
Or Olave.
I was the dumb one this time. I thought it was Olave, but it's Olave.
Yeah, Olave. I like him too. I think he's probably neck and neck with Jamison Williams for me. It's probably going, for fantasy purposes, it's probably going to be depending on where they go in the draft. But they're like 4A and 4B to me. He has that breakaway speed too. I think he's a little bit better of a receiver or better route runner than Jamison Williams.
Yeah.
But again, he's got that slight frame as well.
Too.
So
he's a little older than all these guys because he's one of, I think he's the only senior out of these top 5 guys, like in that top 5-6 range. He's the only.
Well, he could have came out last year, and he would have been a high draft pick, and he decided to go back to school for some reason. But
the chicks, I don't know.
Yeah.
why leave college? All right, let's bring it back to the 2 up real fast, then we'll get into my top 5 in just a second. We'll run through it real quick because the Jaguars are officially on the clock right now. They have 9 minutes and 33 seconds left to go to make their pick. The draft has started. It has begun. The Jaguars are on the clock. Oh my God. What is that playing on there?
It's finally here.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is like Christmas. This whole week is like Christmas week, and I'm so excited that it's finally here. All right. Stevie Bun says, I like these kind of drafts where it's not 100% who's going first, second, etc. I do love that. Like, I love these. I at least from a fan perspective, from a speculation perspective, because you and I know a few people who are like, I don't care about the draft or draft talk or draft rankings. I love the speculation. And when you don't know what's going to happen, when there's not a clear cut 1 through 3 or top pick, it's a lot of fun. Like earlier today, one of the rumors that popped out earlier today was that the Jaguars were talking about trying to trade out of the first overall pick, but they didn't have any takers because everybody's like, why would we trade up for number 1 overall when like we'd have to either give up too much, or all the guys that we would pick a few picks later, they're all kind of close. Everybody's kind of samey in this draft. There's a lot of good talent, but there's not that that clear-cut number 1 guy. I do really like that. What's going on, Brett H? How are you doing today? By the way, shout out to Brett. Shout out to Tooscoon. He's producing this for me tonight. Jake literally came into the Discord while I was bossing Brett around. And he's like, "How much is he paying you?" And Brett's like, "Nothing. It's all in friendship dollars and hugs." That's what Brett's getting paid.
Not worth.
Yeah, but he is 100%. He is 100% kicking ass right now, producing this for us. So yeah, I'm gonna be bossing him around. So just give your love to Brett. He's gonna need it. He's gonna need love and patience tonight dealing with me. All right, let's go ahead and get to my top 5 real fast. And I got a couple of player profiles we need to get to in just a few minutes. Throughout the show, we'll get to these special player profiles that I put together. But my top 5, whenever we get that up, Buddy says Josh best draft. Chaz says, "What's up, Chaz? What's going on?" Here's my top 5. It's pretty much all the same players. I think there's a couple of names that are different, at least in the running back and wide receiver trees. For me, the only difference that I had in the quarterback tree is I like Kenny Pickett a little bit better than Desmond Ridder. I do agree that Desmond Ritter's more pro ready, but I don't think Kenny Pickett's that far off from the talent level that Ridder has right now. And I think he could get a little bit better. My biggest issue with Pickett, and we can dive into this when assuming maybe a team drafts him. My biggest issue with Pickett is he just gets happy feet in the pocket, and that's a really, really big problem for a quarterback going into the NFL. But Matt Corral, Sam Howell, they're the same guy to me. Malik Willis, when it comes to upside, is definitely the number 1 guy. Yes, he has the lower floor, but he has the much higher ceiling. Then with running back, Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, clear number 2s for me. I am not going to troll myself like Jake tried to troll me. So I know that Isaiah Spiller is the 3rd running back in this draft, and Rachaad White is definitely number 4. I put Kyron Williams 5. I know they're all pretty interchangeable, and I agree with you there. And Kyron Williams, he kind of he had issues when he went to the combine. He ran a little slow, but I still love what I've seen from him on film.
You'd have a better RAS score than Kyron Williams.
Well, okay, whatever. Wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, Drake London are my top 2. Treylon Burks, he's still a little raw, but dude, if he went to the Cowboys at 24, if that actually happens and there's nobody that they really love, there's no way Jerry Jones passes on Treylon Burks. He's an Arkansas freaking product. There's no way Jerry is going to pass on an Arkansas receiver with the raw talent that Treylon Burks has. If Jordan Davis does go to the Steelers, or he's gone before 24, if Kenyon Green is gone and they don't really like any of the offensive linemen, we will 100% see Treylon Burks go right there if he's available. Stevie says 9. Nope. But Jamison Williams. So my number 5 is Christian Watson. I really, really love the film that Christian Watson puts out. He's super fast. He has no problem. His contested catch rate is really good. He has no problem fighting for a ball. I really, really, really like Christian Watson. Chaz says, get your QB next year. Stevie says, I love Watson. All right, we can go back to the 2 up. So that 5 minutes left on the Jaguars' first overall pick. We've seen a bunch of different mock drafts here. I know in my mock, I've got Trayvon Walker going first overall here. Who do you think the Jaguars go with number 1 overall?
Yeah, I think it's Trayvon Walker. I think there's just so much smoke. It would be kind of an upset if he doesn't go. But it's crazy. I don't know. We've had, during the year, it was Kayvon Thibodeau was clearly the number 1. And then Hutchinson had just a monster year. Yeah. Tested really well. So all off season since the combine and the pro days, it's been Aiden Hutchinson number 1. And then within the last 3 days, it's been Trayvon all of a sudden.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's kind of wild to me. We saw mocks 2 months ago where it was either Aiden or Evan Neal, and then all of a sudden we saw mocks where it was Aiden or Icky. Then we saw mocks where it was Aiden or Kayvon, and now all of a sudden we're seeing the Trayvon Walker stuff. And I'll be honest, Trayvon Walker did great at the combine. He has the physical stats to be the guy. But I watched his highlight film and a lot of his game tape from the last 2 years, and he does do a lot of stuff really well, but he just doesn't have that wow me talent at the edge as an edge rusher. I don't feel like I think even Jermaine Johnson does a much better job of just powering through people and showing the propensity to get to the quarterback with with anger and intensity. Trayvon Walker just doesn't have that to me. He just feels like somebody who's very, very good at what he does, but shouldn't be the number 1 overall pick. Ooh, okay. So Twitter officially announcing. Let's see who are the 2 people that have announced it. Was it Ian Rappaport? That's good enough for me. At the number 1 overall pick, the pick is in. At number 1 overall, the Jacksonville Jaguars have selected Trayvon Walker. You heard it here first before ESPN. Technically, you heard it on Twitter first.
Shout out Luke Sawhook, who got really upset that Trayvon Walker was mocked to go 1 in our draft.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he was. He's gonna lose his mind if Jordan Davis goes 20th to the Steelers.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I think it's a lot like the Rams, right? Aaron Donald draws so much attention that it doesn't really matter. You just got to get athletic guys on the edge who can run around the guy, because Aaron Donald's going to collapse the pocket and make the quarterback move, right? So you just want the edges who can chase the quarterback down.
Yep. And I just don't feel
Jordan Davis was that. Yeah, Jordan Davis was that for the Bulldogs. Like he was the athletic Aaron Donald type on the D line, and I think Trayvon Walker was just the athletic freak who got to clean up.
Yep. It feels very Jadeveon Clowney-esque. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the player profile real fast. On Trayvon Walker, as Roger Goodell officially. This is what Pro Football Focus last year, in his last year at Georgia, gave him a grade of 70.5. Like, if you look at the other edge rushers, now, you know, I always talk about how, like, you can't live and die by Pro Football Focus, but it's one of the only resources we have to try to compare players to each other, especially when it comes to defensive line and offensive line. And the other edge rushers in this draft, they graded out in like the 80s and 90s. But Trayvon Walker, they're saying that I'm a little. Eric said it earlier. I tried to turn it up on my end. Brett, they're saying that my mic's a little low. They're saying I'm a little quiet.
Yeah, but it's hard not to like a guy who's
predictable. Invisalign.
That's fine.
It's hard not to like a guy who's 272 pounds and runs a 4.51.
And he's 6'5", 272. But again, like,
most recently, the 06 Florida State team, which
it's hard not to love that size.
There's gonna be a lot of dogs tonight.
When the game film doesn't, like, every time I watched, and every single moment that I watched, it didn't feel like that 6'5", 272 with that kind of athleticism really
Florida
came
State
through.
team, which was coming
Like,
off
it wasn't enough for me to be number 1.
I think Georgia's gonna.
I think it's similar to the Malik Willis thing, where he's shown some tools and his athletic upside is insane. So they just assume they're going to be able to develop him into a pass rusher, a more technical pass rusher.
Everybody in the chat's like, Josh, your mic is off. I'm not controlling it this time, or else I would turn it up.
Thanks for joining us.
Everybody's getting their Eric's back. By the way, Total Dallas, thank you for that resub, dude. What's going on? He said America's team is all that matters. Like, shut up, Jake. You can't sit there and talk shit in the chat too, you punk. That's not allowed. Disallowed. But yeah, Trayvon Walker going number 1 overall. This is what Pro Football Focus had to say about him. Walker's an elite physical specimen for a 6'5", 275-pounder who even dropped into coverage this past season and managed a pass breakup. Ooh, a pass breakup. Ooh. He's still figuring out how to rush the passer, but you can't teach what he has. You're right. But I feel like you also can't necessarily teach when you're going into the NFL a guy how to rush the passer. The Texans learned that lesson with Jadeveon Clowney. High-level run stopper, not good at rushing the passer. But okay, let's go ahead and bring it back to the 2-up. Let's go to some Trayvon Walker highlights, if we can get that in just a second.
The pick is in for Detroit already?
The pick is already in for Detroit. If we can get that real fast. There we go. Here's some Trayvon Walker. And now look, there's some of the stuff that you do, but look, he gets through, he doesn't wrap up. There's just some moments where, like, I just want to see more from him. I want to see more aggression. I want to see more from him getting to the quarterback. And a lot of these are the best highlights that I found in his 2021 highlights, where it's like, yeah, he got penetration, but he didn't finish it all.
The Lions drafted Hutchinson.
The Lions have, of course. As soon as Trayvon Walker went, it should have been immediately. That's why the pick was immediately in. All right.
Yeah.
Who is that? Who is that per Albert? Is that Albert Breer?
Athletic and some other players, some other places.
Let me bring up who.
Benjamin Albright also.
I'm doing Benjamin Albright. I actually did a draft show of Benjamin Albright a few years ago, and he was getting those picks like way before they were announcing it. He's probably one of the most.
He's a real insider.
a legitimate ass insider. Okay. Wait, where is he saying pick number 2? Where's he saying Aiden Hutchinson? I don't see him. Interesting. All right. Anyway, all right. At the second pick, Goodell's announcing it now. The Lions take Aiden Hutchinson, number 2 overall. This is easy. Let's get that player profile up as soon as we can. Just bring it up whenever you want. Actually, as soon as I announce the pick, Brett, you could just bring it up whenever you want. I'll just keep an eye on it.
Okay. Yeah. So far, I'm 2 for 2 on the mock.
I think I am too, actually. Aiden Hutchinson, 6'7", 260, 94.5 PFF grade. The guy, he has the chance to be a JJ Watt type player. You want to talk about size? Yeah, it's hard to pass up 6'5", 275. I think it's also hard to pass up 6'7", 260, and a guy who actually did it. Like a guy who you could see in the highlight film actually was a huge disruptor in any way. He said this is what PFF said: the highest graded edge defender in college football. Hutchinson has multiple ways to win with his blend of quick and power. He's a complete edge defender who excels against both the run and the pass. Let's get into some Hutchinson highlights. So Hutchinson, number 2 overall to the Lions, and now here we are with the Houston Texans first pick at number 3. All you Texans fans. Eric said he's a little small, but okay, I guess. He's just watch these highlights versus Trayvon Walker's. Like he's instantly back there. He's freaking aggressive. He's making guys. He's ripping the ball out. It's just nuts how much more he did with his size and his ability than Trayvon Walker did.
Yeah, I mean, he's like the JJ Watt prototype, right?
Yep.
And Trayvon Walker is more of a pure athlete type. So I don't really know I don't necessarily think that the Clowney comparison is right for Trayvon.
I think that's more of a Kayvon Thibodeau comparison. I'm more talking about a guy who had this, like the only comparison is the guy had the size and he had the physical ability to be a great pass rusher, and Clowney wasn't really that in college, and he never really became that. He got drafted number 1 overall because of his size. That's really the only comparison. Trayvon Walker's a different type of player, but he got drafted number 1 overall because of his athleticism and what he did at the combine, and less because of what he actually did last year in college football.
So you're the Houston Texans guy. Who we going here?
Oh, I really want Sauce. I really do want Sauce Gardner here. I think Jeremy convinced me, Jeremy Branham, whenever he did the community mock draft with us last week. I think he really convinced me that the opportunity cost of being able to take Sauce and get another edge defender here or at that 13, I think this is the play. If the Texans really are trying to move back in, the pick is in for the Texans, by the way. If they really are trying to move back into the top 10, then maybe you don't go Sauce here. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to move back into the top 10 to try to take. I've heard Garrett Wilson, but I also kind of feel like they try to move back into the top 10 to get an offensive lineman as well. I don't know. It could be Icky. It could be Sauce. Like there's so many different they literally, I mean, on Pro Football Focus, we saw their team needs, it said every position. Yeah. So it literally could be anything. It could be Kyle Hamilton. It could be Evan Neal. It could be Icky. It could be Stingley. Yeah, dude, there's so many different directions. Oh, it is Derrick Stingley over Sauce?
Wow. He's been moving up boards, man. I guess his medicals came back great. Yep, Breer.
Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and go into that player profile. At number 3 overall, the Houston Texans select. I almost said select Albert Breer. No, they did not select Albert Breer. At number 3 overall, the Texans are taking LSU cornerback Derrick Stingley, 6 foot 190, a junior out of LSU. His film in his sophomore season was much better than his junior year. He was banged up last year. His Pro Football Focus grade was a 66.6. This is a huge surprise to me, but if you go look at some of his highlights, like he could be as good as Sauce, I think. And I think if his medicals are okay, there's Debbie the Texan. Debbie the Texan is in Vegas, back in the bottom right corner. That's awesome. They just showed her on ESPN. I know her. Stingley's a good pick, but I would have gone Sauce here.
He's insane. I mean, if it wasn't for the medical thing, I think he's easily the best cornerback in the draft.
Look at some of these highlights real fast. Like look at some of these plays that he makes. It's just insane, like how much body control he has, how he covers those defenders with no issues whatsoever. Like he's a good corner. I'm like gassy now after drinking water. What the hell? And Stevie brings up a good point. LSU does produce great DBs. Like every defensive back that comes out of LSU typically has a good NFL career. So I'm fine with Derrick Stingley here. I still think I would have liked Sauce, but I'm totally fine with Derrick Stingley. I'm okay with them going cornerback in this spot, I think is where I'm at. Donaldo says, can we do channel points predictions for picks? If I remember to do them, yeah. So let's try to do the number 4. Let's do the number 4 pick. Who do the Jets take with number 4? Well, it's hard to do predictions because then it's like between 1 or 2.
I guess you can do offense or defense instead of by player.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If you can only do 2.
Yeah, because you can only do 2 possible outcomes. I'm gonna leave that up for 2 minutes.
Another shout out to Luke Sahuk, who said, "No way the Texans were going cornerback."
Yeah. Oh, poor Luke. He's just a young kid. Come on, man.
I know, but this is how you learn.
Slack.
This is how you learn. You make your predictions, you defend them, and then you take your lumps when you're wrong.
You do have to take it. So UT just came in hot into the chat and said, "Why all caps ? !"
Because by the time the Texans are really good, they're going to pay Stingley a buttload of money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not the wisest way to build a team, but it's a way to build a team.
I get. Why do they have to show all these highlights against Texas A&M, man? This is kind of bullshit. Again, his film from 2020 is much better than his film from 2021. But his film from 2020 is like legitimate high level, should be the number 1 cornerback taken off the board type film. So if he's healthy and ready to go, I think this is a good pick for them. I just don't know. So at number 4, where are we going? At number 4, where are we going? Are they going Drake London here? The New York Jets, they have the 4th pick. They're on the clock right now. 5.5 minutes left. Where do they go?
I think they go KT.
You think they go Kayvon Thibodeau?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Villanueva says Jets fan here, so I hope it's a good pick. I think Kayvon's kind of a no-brainer here for them. I think he absolutely is. I gotta update. My draft tracker is not updating itself for some reason. I keep having to update it. So what are the biggest needs for them right now? They need D-line, they need a wide receiver, they need a cornerback. I wouldn't be surprised if they go Sauce at number 4 here, though.
Possible.
I think this is either Thibodeau. It's either Thibodeau or Sauce at this pick, which makes this prediction even better. Stevie says no Sauce. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry, I got you. None of you Biz says, who takes Devin Lloyd? I think Devin Lloyd. I can't remember what I did in my mock. I think I had Devin Lloyd going to. Did I have him going to the Seahawks? Let me go look at my mock draft real fast and see where I had him going. Where did you have Devin Lloyd going? Did you have him going in the first round?
In my mock, 11 to the Washington Commanders.
Maybe that's where I had him too.
I got your mock right here. I
had Kyle Hamilton there. I had Devin Lloyd going to
You have Eagles, which is a good fit too.
Yeah.
I'm keeping track of all the mock draft scores right now.
Oh, nice. Good. Good, because I completely forgot about that. I figure we can just do it after the fact, if nothing else.
You can do it after the fact, but I'm going to do something like whenever we get I don't know, there's not going to be necessarily a break, but maybe after the first 10 picks, I'll add up the scores and see who's winning.
Oh, yeah. And then we could, like, if somebody predicted a trade correctly, that'd be a cool thing to try to highlight. Klepter says, I'm here to talk about draft picks I know nothing about. Well, let me know. Who do you want to talk about? Stevie says leave Thibodeau for us. That would be huge for the Giants. If the Jets take Sauce here and Thibodeau falls all the way to 5 to the Giants, that'd be huge. Stevie says he's 0 for 3 right now.
Stevie, you're 0 for 3, but you got 3 points for Aiden Hutchinson because he went in the first round and the Jags took a different edge, so you get 1 point for that. So that's 3 points.
Oh,
and then you got 2 points for Stingley going in the first round.
Okay. So where's Kevin? How's Kevin doing? Because Kevin's been talking a good game about just going ahead and giving him the gift card anyway.
Kevin is at 12, 13, 15 points right now out of a possible
points.
He's at 15 out of a possible 18.
Last call BBR says I'm 3-0 on Barry on deck. Oh, did y'all do a mock draft challenge as well? Yeah, last call says he's 3 for 0 or 3 for 3, I guess would be the better way to put it. 3 for 3 on Barry on deck. Jets have the sauce.
Gardner.
All right, with the 4th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the New York Jets have taken Sauce Gardner at number 4. I think this is a really good pick. Let's bring that the profile up as soon as you can. Oh, it is up. This I'm not even producing this thing, and I still have too many screens in front of my face.
Pay attention, Josh.
Okay, I'll be honest. Like, not having OBS in front of me and like controlling things, because I'm such a weird micromanagey controlling person, it's freaking me out and throwing me off. His real name is not Sauce. His real name is Ahmad Gardner, but I put Sauce Gardner because nobody knows him as Ahmad Gardner. Everybody knows him as Sauce. So the Jets now have the Sauce Gardner out of Cincinnati going. He is 6'3", 190. He's fast as shit, and he is every bit as good as Derrick Stingley in his best moments.
Can you tell how bad of an offensive draft this is? That it's four picks in and no offensive players yet?
No offensive players. Although I think those tackles are good enough to have gone. Like, yes, the defensive players are very good, but those I think at least Icky and Evan Neal were deserving of being top 5 picks. But because everybody else was going to be drafting defense, and because it's such a shitty offensive draft, that pushes them down a little bit more because they can get better. Total Dallas wants to know who got the sauce. The Jets got the sauce. Let's watch some of the sauce on film, baby. Oh, Stevie's so happy. Stevie's predicting Icky right now. Stevie's predicting Icky, which, speaking of prediction, let me go and look, see. 74% of the people chose defense, and it was defense because it was Sauce Gardner. Don't show this again. Yeah, dude, his coverage skills are absolutely insane, man. He bumps with these guys so well, and he puts just enough body on them to not get called for pass interference. He had, I can't remember his stats and his pass breakups, but I think like he was definitely his film from 2021 was as good as Stingley's was in 2020. I still forgot to pull up that freaking did you DM me that sheet on Discord or on
Twitter?
On Twitter, you DM'd me on Twitter? Okay. Because I need to pull that up. I forgot to pull it up because it's got all the stats, and I need all the stats on there. Okay. Roger Goodell still has not announced the pick.
All you need to know about Sauce Gardner is that he never gave up a touchdown in his collegiate career.
That's insane. That's absolutely insane, dude. Just in a little bit, just so you guys know, we're gonna have a couple of guests here on with us here in a few minutes. Barry Laminack of Barry on Deck is going to be joining us after the Texans' 2nd pick at 13, and then just a few minutes after him, we're gonna have good old Paulie G. My boy Paul Gallant is going to be coming on with us and hanging out with us for a few minutes to kind of react to some of these different picks. I don't think there's anything in these top 4 picks that's necessarily bad for any of these teams. Do you think so? Other than I'm a little down on Trayvon Walker, but I get it. I at least understand why they picked what they picked.
I mean, I would just say that I think that's fine. DE is fine for both the Jaguars and Lions. All 4 of these teams had a lot of holes to fill.
Yeah.
I think it's a little strange when you're the Jets that you're not protecting your second overall pick from last year, Zach Wilson. I don't think their O-line is the best. I think Sauce Gardner is good, but again, they need to be building that offense up, in my opinion. They could have gone O-line and wide receiver and then been a much more potent offense this year. But they got a defensive head coach. That's what they want to do. They want to build the defense. I'm very vocal about hiring defensive head coaches because when you look at all of the Super Bowl winners of the last however many years, it's all offensive guys. Bill Belichick really skews everything because he's just an insane head coach. But really, this is an offensive revolution in the NFL. the NFL wants offense. They don't want defense. They legislate the game for the offense. They don't want to go back to like the 2004 where Ty Law was just mugging everybody and Peyton Manning couldn't get a pass off. They didn't like that. That wasn't a good product for them. Even though like for the football diehards, we love that stuff. So yeah, I just think it's a mistake. You build your defense, and I say this as a Steelers fan who like all we have is a defense right now. We're always known for our defense, but look at us. We get torn apart by those high octane offenses that we play. We haven't sniffed a Super Bowl in 12 years, so it really is like I don't know. I think you build your team through the offense first, and then go for the defense, in my opinion.
Well, especially, I didn't even think about that. Like, if they had gone Icky at number 4, Icky or Neal or Cross. I watched a lot of film on Charles Cross. And that dude's he's a goddamn beast. Like, he's so good. His pass offs, right? Like in the pass blocking schemes and in the passing game, his pass offs and trade offs are so smooth. Like when he's all of a sudden blocking on the inside and then has to deal with like a stunt or some kind of a blitz outside, and he has to pass off on that outside rush. He does it so smoothly and with no issues. So if they would have gone with one of those offensive linemen, and then they could have their pick of the litter of the top 4 or 5 receivers at number 10, I agree. Especially, and I didn't think about this, especially when you have a young quarterback in Zach Wilson who needs help. Like right now, he's only got Elijah Moore. They drafted Michael Carter last year, who's fine, but they need an offensive line, and he needs more than just Elijah Moore as a passing weapon. All right, the Giants are on the clock. This is a big one for Stevie. Stevie's got the Giants on the clock right now. Last week during the community mock draft, Stevie went Evan Neal at number 5. Or sorry, he went Kyle Hamilton at number 5. Yeah. And then he went Evan Neal at number 7. And he said after the fact that he was a little upset that he took Kyle Hamilton at 5 and didn't take Icky at number 5. So he wants Icky here. The pick is in. Are we seeing anything yet from anybody?
I'm not seeing anything. But just to go back to it, like again, it's another indictment on just the offensive talent in this class that like these teams that are clearly needing offense are going defense. I think this is a very good defensive draft.
Yeah.
And that's why I didn't study any of these defensive players.
But here's the thing. Here's why I'm okay with UT. UT brought up, he said, I don't get why you pick up a linebacker. Kayvon Thibodeau. All right, there you go, Stevie. Albert Breer just announced Kayvon Thibodeau. So with the 5th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the New York Giants have selected Kayvon friggin' Thibodeau, baby. Let's get that player. Yeah. Stevie goes, okay.
I don't hate it. Again, you're adding a premium edge rusher to a defense that needs it.
Yep.
But again, their offensive line is trash. They don't necessarily need a left tackle. They have Andrew Thomas, but they need O-line help. Daniel Jones is probably gone next year. But I mean, you build the O-line now and then put a rookie back there next year, you're going to do better. But I mean, they have another pick coming up, so maybe they go O-line there, which is absolutely fine if they decided that Thibodeau wasn't going to be there after their next pick.
How much?
I'm going to reserve my judgment on this until they pick
until
at 7.
The 7th pick. How much would you lose your mind if they took Kayvon Thibodeau and then at 7 they pick Kyle Hamilton and don't do anything?
Right, they just go straight defense.
Let's say the Panthers say fuck it, let's go defense. It's just the top 7 picks are all defensive picks.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think.
Stevie goes stop. Yeah, let's go ahead and go to the highlight real fast. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not going to make a judgment on this till we see who they take at 7 because they still they're going to basically have their pick of the tackles at 7.
They really are. Okay. So they're going to have their pick of the tackles at 7. What happens at number 6 here? That's coming up next in a second. It's going to be the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, they could take one of those tackles. The Panthers need a lot of help too. But clearly, the number 1 position of need is quarterback. This is I feel like this is the spot of the draft where we find out what the F is going to happen to these quarterbacks. Like, are there going to be multiple quarterbacks taken in the first round early? Or are we going to see these quarterbacks kind of fall later into the first round, see more of like that to the Steelers at 20? So does Carolina go with Pickett or Malik here? Or do they go completely different and go with an offensive tackle or a defensive player?
Everything they've said this offseason has been that they're not going to draft a quarterback here.
Yep.
They should have drafted a quarterback last year. They're either going to stick with Sam Darnold or they're going to trade for Mayfield. And then there's an outside shot, Jimmy G.
Yeah.
But
sorry, go ahead.
What's going on? I was just going to say
it was my mock draft. It's very selfish. Continue.
Wait till after the 10th pick, and then we'll pull up the mock drafts.
That's what I want to do. Shut up, man.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to go O-line. They need everything for offense. Their O-line is terrible. Their quarterback is terrible. All they have locked down is running back and wide receiver.
Yeah.
Their defense, they went cornerback last year. They traded for Stephen Gilmore. He left in free agency. They could go Kyle Hamilton. Like I said, we were talking about this last week on the community mock draft. Kyle Hamilton's going to plug a lot of holes in your secondary. That's somebody like the Jets could have taken.
I'm sorry. I can't hear anybody say the phrase "plug a lot of holes."
They can plug a lot of holes. Kyle Hamilton's a hole plugger, all right?
God damn it, stop
Kyle Hole Plugger Hamilton. You didn't know that was his nickname?
Oh shit, I did.
But yeah, I think they go tackle here. If they don't go tackle here, I already think really lowly of Matt Rule and that GM. I don't even know his name because he's so bad. But we'll see. Well, we'll wait. But yeah, if they go tackle here, if they go anything but tackle here, the Giants are going to come away insane if they can get their number one tackle and a top 3 defensive end.
So I forgot the scoring system for the mock draft. That's what I was going to ask, because I did get Kayvon Thibodeau right to the Giants. So what was the point scoring if you got it to the right team but at the wrong pick?
You're going to get 4 points for right team, wrong pick.
Oh, okay, cool. Just making sure. I'm pretty sure that everything's about to get real bad for me right now, so I'm trying to maximize as many points as I can, because I'm pretty sure Malik Willis is not gonna go to the Panthers here at number 6, and I really regret making that. I went out on a limb, because if I think there's still an off chance they just say F it, let's do it. But their pick at 6 has been all over the place. Like, I've seen so many different scenarios here. It's gonna be weird. I in my mock, I picked Icky to go to the Giants at 5 and Kayvon to go to the Giants at 7. And I think I might get that, but completely opposite. And I'm gonna be really pissed off. Yeah, I'm gonna be really pissed off if that happens. Let's get to some chat real fast. Stevie says, "Come on, Panthers, take Pickett." Oh, Stevie's freaking out right now because he wants Icky so bad. Stingley is messing up all my picks by 1. Yeah, don't worry, he's messing mine up too. Stevie says, "Take Neal." You still want Evan Neal over Icky? Is that if Icky is gone, or just take Neal no matter what? Stevie says Rule is on the hot seat. No, Panthers take Neal. Oh, that's true. They could take Neal.
Yeah, Rule is definitely on the hot seat.
Brett, can we get to a player profile while we're waiting for the Panthers pick? It's not in yet. Can we get to? I did a special player profile for our friendly co-host here right now. Can we go ahead and get that player profile? I made it especially for him. I want to see. Honestly, I think this is probably the best player in the draft. And if I had the number 1 overall pick, screw Trayvon Walker. I'm absolutely going in a different direction, because this is the player that I would take. But as soon as Brett gets that ready, we'll switch to that and check out this player profile picture, because this is just, you want to talk about a hole plugger. This guy is just a beast of a man and a hole plugger to the nth degree. Let me get another. Let's start another prediction real fast. No, I don't want mine first. I want his first. Yes. I'm not the hole plugger. Yeah. Yeah. Stevie says Icky is a hometown. Look at that. Hell yeah. That 99.9 PFF grade.
I already told you my 2 problems with this.
There's
neither of them are the pictures.
Jake said that he was mad that I put him at 5'11" when he's 6 foot. He is definitely shorter than me, so he's 5'11".
That is not true.
He said he wants to be called a super senior, but I put old ass freshman. Yeah. He's from the School of Hard Knocks. This is what PFF had to say about Jake Lane, our other host of today. While Jake may not be the FPS player he once was, losing to Josh in the last 2 major OVO challenge nights in Halo and in Titanfall 2, coincidentally his 2 favorite FPS games of all time that he uninstalled immediately afterwards, his willpower and ability to educate himself through past his prime schooling is very commendable, which I think is a spot-on evaluation of this just pile of meat. That picture of you throwing up will never get old to me. It's literally my favorite picture of you of all time, and it forever will be.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's not a quarterback. I
Not
didn't
a
think it was good.
quarterback, but we don't know.
I didn't think it was going to be a quarterback.
We can go back up to the 2-up, but we still have a couple of other special profiles that we're going to get to throughout tonight. UT says Jake looking like an Italian, the dude. FYP Metas says hole plugger for sure. Stevie, God damn it, I should have put that. Stevie said 40 time, still TBD.
Yeah, still ongoing.
Currently testing.
Ongoing.
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
that's so good.
F you pay me minutes. That's Josh. That's the other Josh.
Oh yeah, that's the other Josh. I forgot about that. Icky, it is Icky. Oh no, Stevie, I'm so sorry. With the number 6, with the 6th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Carolina Panthers have drafted Ikem Ekwonu, aka Icky, out of I forgot where Icky. It's not Mississippi State. Please help me out.
North
NC
Carolina State.
NC State. Thank you very much. No, that's the wrong one. That's not Icky.
I've been drafted by the Carolina Packers.
The Carolina Packers?
The Carolina Panthers, excuse me.
Okay, but you do look like a guy who would be drafted to a farm football league team called the Carolina Packers. All right. Yeah, I honestly
Very
see
similar.
very few differences. So Icky, redshirt sophomore, he's a younger guy. He is an incredible run blocker who has a lot of skills and a lot of athleticism to be a great pass blocker in the NFL. Evan Neal is very, very good. Charles Cross really impressed me with some of the film that I saw, but this is a great pick for the Panthers. I honestly think it's kind of insane that he fell all the way to 6 to them, to be honest. But 91.6 PFF grade in his final season in college, 6'4", 310 pounds. And the dude is a freaking is an athletic specimen at the tackle position. He's absolutely ridiculous. I think he Charles Cross and Evan Neal, or maybe it's him, Charles Cross, and Trevor Penning were the only 3 offensive tackles to run the 40 in under 5 seconds, which is kind of nuts. But yeah, Ikem Ekwonu, aka Icky. What do you think about this pick for the Panthers?
I mean, this is just good lord.
I'm
only on my second seltzer too. Good lord.
I want by the 20th pick, I need you just completely obliterated. That way, no matter what happens, if Jordan Davis gets drafted or if they like move up for somebody, I need you to lose your mind.
Clep2R asked how's Icky's footwork. It's probably the best out of the 3.
Yes. Yep.
He's that's what they like about him. I mean, he went to NC State, and you're talking about drafting him over Evan Neal, who was just a beast to Alabama, and Charles Cross, who also played in the SEC against those defenses. But it's telling that Icky's was the top rated one, the first one to go. His like bend and footwork and everything, like he kind of gets ahead of himself with technique, but he's got such good footwork and bend that he can recover with ease.
Yep.
He's somebody that is going to be very, very good. If he learns how to perfect his technique, it's like there's nothing you can do to beat him at that point.
Yep, totally agree. I think he's the number 1 tackle in this draft. And personally, because of how important passing is in the NFL, I think Charles Cross would be my number 2. But it's like 2A and 2B is Charles Cross and Evan Neal. The only thing I don't like about Charles Cross is he was a little weak in his combine and pro day stuff, which I don't super love. But God damn it. Clep2R says, wait, why is Pete wearing a Cowboys jersey? I'm wearing 2 jerseys, actually. I'm wearing a Cowboys jersey because I'm a Cowboys fan and a Texans fan. And I'm also wearing my Mavericks jersey on underneath because the Mavericks are playing tonight. And I got to rep the Mavs while they try to close out the Jazz tonight. Even though we're going to be focusing on the draft, I will probably be talking about the Mavericks at some point. Stevie says that I'm wearing a Cowboys jersey because I hate winning playoff games. Super mean. UT says Josh is hoping this is the year his Make-A-Wish comes true and Dallas wins a Super Bowl. Okay, that's even more mean. Klepter says I wish women loved sports as much as men. My wife does. My wife loves this stuff. if she weren't busy studying tonight, I would absolutely have had her on this show with Jake and I. She did come and hang out with us for a little bit last year because that's where we got the slap it on my face clip from.
Yeah.
Last year was when she told you that she needed you to slap it on her face or slap it on her face a million times.
Yep.
Fuck, I forgot about that. What'd you say?
I mean, if they want to win, they need to go after Baker.
Yeah, well, and apparently there's rumors that the Texans want to go after. So Brett asked us in Discord. I forgot that they can't hear you. Brett asked us in Discord. Does this mean that the Panthers have to go after Jimmy Garoppolo or Baker Mayfield? I thought they should have gone after Baker Mayfield all along. I'd be fine with either one of those guys over Sam Darnold, and with the weapons that they have on offense. Now you add Icky to that offensive line. You have you still have Christian McCaffrey, which if he can stay healthy for a season, he's incredible. And they've got DJ Moore. I still like Terrace Marshall. If you add Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo to that team, they're instantly going to be much better than they are right now. The Texans were reportedly going to go after Baker Mayfield or Jimmy Garoppolo, which is really interesting. Now Brett H says, "Damn it, Toofpete, turn your mic volume up some." I've got it all. Yeah, I've got it up as far as I can take it. I don't know. What is it peaking at, Brett? La 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 la. What am I peaking at? Blah blah blah.
Just swallow your mic.
Try to get it up a little bit higher, like -10, like -10, or it won't go all the way to -6.
What's weird is I think it's probably easier to get Baker, even though I think he's far superior than Jimmy. I think the 49ers are fine keeping Jimmy.
I would rather Baker too.
Unless they get the right offer. But I think
Stevie's so mad right now.
I think the Browns can't keep Baker. Like, he's disgruntled. He doesn't want to be there. They have zero leverage. I think that they eventually trade him before the season.
I for sure think he's gone. Like, Baker's departure was all about what happens in the draft. He's definitely going to be gone after this draft is over. Let's see.
Evan Neal to the Giants.
Official Evan Neal to the Giants?
Official Evan Neal to the Giants.
All right. With the 7th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Giants have selected Evan Neal, offensive tackle, Alabama. Let's get that profile picture up. This is very close to what Stevie did in the mock draft, except instead of Kayvon Thibodeau, he had taken Kyle Hamilton. But look, I think Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal is a really, really nice 1-2 punch as well. You get a guy on the defensive side of the ball. You get a guy to rush the passer on the defensive side of the ball. You get a guy to protect the passer on the offensive side of the ball. Evan Neal's fucking huge at 6'8", 337. Pro Football Focus even said the mammoth 6'7", 350-pounder. He had an 85.8 Pro Football Focus ranking in his final year with Alabama. And if you watch his film, we can go to his film in just a second. If you watch his film, the dude just plays with a lot of power.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Alabama produces O-line. That's what they do. They're an O-line They produce basically every position because they're Alabama, but particularly O-line. And he was considered like the number one guy all year. But I think Icky just kind of edged him with the physical, talented traits in his footwork. So, yeah, I think this is a perfect pick. Like I said, I wanted to reserve judgment, but getting KT and Evan Neal with their 2 picks, I don't know if you could get better than that. Yeah, I mean, there might be other combinations that are just as good, but I don't think you really get better than this combination for the Giants.
So Klepter said 24 pressures. Hold on, who did Evan Neal allow 24 pressures, or are you talking about Kayvon Thibodeau having 24 pressures? Oh, that's okay. That's insane.
12 a year, man. That's not bad.
Great. That's pretty damn good. Yeah, that's pretty damn good. The ghost in our ears is feeding us all the information we need to know.
All the information.
Yeah, man. The ghost is back. I've only had the ghost in the stream one time before, and it was a really fun stream, and it's already fun again. So Evan Neal official to the Giants. Roger Goodell just announced the pick. I'm gonna do another prediction here. Let's predict what the Atlanta Falcons are gonna do. Where do the Falcons go here at number 8? Nope, that's not 8. That's not an 8. Do they go offense or defense? My gut tells me Garrett Wilson here. I'm going to leave this prediction up for 2 minutes. My gut tells me my gut tells me Garrett Wilson.
They need wide receiver.
They have to have a wide receiver.
They need offensive line. Again, I'm mostly all for protecting your quarterbacks. Their offensive line has been trash for a long time. I don't know. I mean, they could go anywhere. If they go wide receiver this early, yeah, Garrett Wilson, Drake London.
If they go wide receiver early, it's going to break the dam, and that's when we're going to see a run on wide receivers.
But
not
yeah,
near the next couple of picks afterwards, but very quickly afterwards.
I think you go cross here and just take a wide receiver in the second round.
Chaz says he wants Cross. I'm guessing he means for the Texans' 13th pick.
What do the Giants need more than an O-line? Well, I mean, O-line is their number one need.
Yeah, the Cross makes sense here, though.
They need quarterback. They need linebackers. If they get rid of if they cut Bradbury to save cap, they need cornerbacks.
But you know what? I said where do the Falcons go at number 8, and I did offense or defense. It's almost assuredly offense.
Probably, yeah.
Damn it! So I should should have done wide receiver or offensive line. Oh well, that's fine. Everybody's gonna get some extra 2 points here. A QB who doesn't fumble when he breathes. That's what the Giants need. That's what Stevie said. I'd be surprised if more than one QB goes first round. I could see maximum 3 going in the first round. That's the absolute maximum. I could see only one going. Yeah, quarterbacks. I could see only one quarterback going in the first round, but I could see
I think
maximum 3.
The over-under is 2.5, so max 3 is about right. So I think it's Willis and Pickett, and I think everybody else drops.
Yeah, that's a solid. 2.5 is like the perfect over/under, to be honest. All right. Do we know what the pick is yet? We've been getting them so quickly. There's 5 minutes left. Why do we not know the pick yet? The pick, 5 minutes until they're allowed to. We should have already had it right now. Albert Breer says, so the Giants wind up with a tackle and a pass rusher for Brian Dable and Joe Shane to build around. Who's the best available right now? Who we have? Kyle Hamilton still on the board.
They kind of did the thing we talked about Stevie doing in the mock draft.
Yeah.
The Giants went defense first and then got the second OT instead of just taking the OT they wanted. Maybe, I mean, don't get me wrong. They could have had Neal 1.
They might have had they could have had Neal 1, or maybe they had them even. Maybe they were like, okay, Icky and Neal are interchangeable.
That being said, like we already talked about, like if the Panthers went defense with their offensive line needs, they're idiots. That's like it's basically the same argument we had for them not taking Kyle Hamilton.
Yep.
Like we feel like they were going to go tackle. The Giants probably get Icky at 5 and then can get KT at 7. So I think it's the same kind of issue we talked about with Stevie taking Kyle Hamilton first.
Yeah, best available right now left on the board is, why is this? It's showing that Aiden Hutchinson is still available. Best available right now, I think, specifically for the Falcons, is Garrett Wilson, in my opinion. And then, but the best fit is probably Charles Cross. But I think Charles Cross at number 8 would be completely fine. I'd have no issues with that at all. Pick is in, but let me refresh. Let's refresh. Albert, tell us more things. Still nothing yet. If you guys see anything, tell us in the chat. Stevie said I should be a GM, and Buddy said I would vote for you. Stevie said Tibb wasn't available for me, or I would have taken him at 5.
Drake London to the Falcons.
Drake London to the Falcons at 8. Okay, shit. I really thought Garrett. Here's why I said not Drake London, because he's just wide receiver Kyle Pitts. Like, don't you want like more of a Garrett Wilson type of receiver in that spot if you're going to take a receiver?
Imagine both of them in the red zone, though.
That's true. That's going to be absolutely insane. All right, with the number 8 pick in the 2000, I don't know why I keep saying number 8. With the 8th pick of the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons have selected Drake London, baby. Let's get that player profile up there whenever you get the chance. Drake London, Well, see, I can't sit now. I can see it on the stream. Drake London, he's 6'4", 219. We talked about him earlier. He is probably the best contested catch receiver in this draft. If there's one thing he does really well,
probably he is.
He is. He's very clearly, yeah. Look, shut up. He is in some of the highlights that we'll see in just a second. We can switch to the highlights whenever you want to. His Pro Football Focus grade was 91.3. Some of the highlights that you're going to see are literally just the amount of contact this dude can take on a catch. It's absolutely insane. He's got a couple of moves. He's not crazy athletic, but I think he's athletic enough. And you're right. Like in the red zone for the Falcons with Kyle Pitts and that catch is just stupid. With Drake London and Kyle Pitts in the red zone for the Falcons, it's going to be idiotic.
He's probably got the best highlight reel of any of the wide receivers in the draft.
Yep, totally agree. Totally agree. That the one at the end,
it's him and Dave.
Catch is insane.
Yeah, him and David Bell are like the two highlight reel guys. David Bell just tested way worse.
Klepter says, "How is Drake London's blocking though?" I think his blocking is okay, but I'm never drafting a wide receiver based on his blocking ability ever. Ever.
He's like nearly 6'4", 220. I think his blocking will be okay.
I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be very Mike Evans-esque. That's the best comparison. Drake London's best comparison is Mike Evans, but I think he's an even better contested ball catcher than Mike Evans was and is.
Mike Evans is really good.
He is really good. Don't get me wrong.
As a prospect maybe, but like it's hard to. Yes. You can't talk about current NFL players who have actually shown it in the NFL because that's a much bigger weight to your grading.
This is definitely a coming as they're coming out of college as a prospect.
Yes.
Like I saw Mike Evans make some incredible catches at Texas A&M. Don't get me wrong, and I will say this for the rest of my life until I'm blue in the face. The only reason Johnny Manziel won a Heisman was because of Mike Evans, because Johnny Manziel would throw that shit up in the air and Mike Evans would jump over 3 defenders and catch it, and it was ridiculous. But coming out of college, I think Drake London is a better contested catch receiver than even Mike Evans was. Buddies,
go ahead. Seahawks. No, I was just gonna say
Seahawks at number 9. Seahawks are on the clock at number 9 now.
This is the first real wild card.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think.
Brett. So the ghost in our ears thinks it's going to be Charles Cross here at this pick.
I think the Texans were the first wild card. So I'm going to correct myself and say the Seahawks are the second wild card of the draft. There are specific needs that this team needs, but with the GM Schneider and with the coach Pete Carroll, they have a real old school way of doing things. And by old school, I mean wrong. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be really interesting to see who they pick at 9. I mean, in my opinion, if you look at their quarterback depth chart, they really need a quarterback. They seemingly always need O-line help. Wide receivers are good. Running backs, you can't take a running back at 9. Carroll's a defensive guy. Maybe they go defense here.
Are you surprised that we haven't seen a trade yet so far? Because a lot of people are talking about teams trying to trade out of the top 10. If you're in the top 10, you should try to trade out. And all along, I was saying, no, you can't. Very few people are going to be willing to give up the capital to move into the top 10. So it's going to be almost impossible for you to trade out of the top 10. But are you surprised that a trade hasn't, or at least like nobody's tried to trade any of these picks yet?
No, I bet you every team in the top 10 wants to trade down and nobody wants to move up. I think once we get into the teens, the capital you need to move up is a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
So we'll probably start seeing some trades. I think, 11, 12, 13 are ripe for the trade. Although the rumors were Texans were trying to move up, but it doesn't look like that's happening.
No, that's not happening. I mean, if they were going to, it was going to be at number 7. And I'm wondering if that 7th pick, like the conversation about that 7th pick was going to be had if both Evan Neal and Ickey were gone. That's kind of what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if they were waiting to see how it played out, because if Ickey and Evan Neal were both gone before 5, they probably would have taken a tackle at 5. Then they would have let whatever the Carolina was going to do at 6, and then maybe traded that 7th pick away or taken Kayvon. I don't know what they would have done, or maybe it was all dependent on where Kayvon Thibodeau went. Maybe if they were like, if we can't get Kayvon Thibodeau at 5, then we are going to keep that pick. Then we can draft one of those tackles at 7. But unless they trade, I could see them trading with Seattle here. But the fact that we haven't heard anything yet means it's probably not happening.
Yeah, I would love for them to take Cross. If they go defense, Karlaftis.
Yeah.
They just lost Bobby Wagner, so maybe Devin Lloyd. But we'll see what they do. Like, really, the only way they blow this pick is like, I don't know, overdrafting Like Tyler Lindbaum or somebody. Surprised Pete isn't chewing gum.
the Pete Carroll just be chewing gum on here. Miz says, "Hey, you sexy bitch, what's up, dude? How's it going? Hey, since we're waiting on this Seattle pick real fast, let's go ahead and get that other profile up there. Nope, not mine. Let's go ahead and get our technical director of the day and super awesome badass person and one of my best friends. You guys, I legitimately, I say I have a lot of, I always say I have like one of my best friends. You two are definitely two of my closest friends, period. Because Jake, I've known you for forever and we kind of have to be friends at this point because there's like, I'm past the point of meeting new people now for the most part. And so I'm just like, you're like de facto one of my best friends because I'm just not going to meet new people to make friends.
That's yeah.
But like how Jake's like, yeah, pretty much. Now that my one of my other best friends and closest friends is Brett, aka Two Scoon. We met whenever I started working at Mainline. We very quickly found out we had very similar mindsets and thought the same. And these pictures are great. They were two of the only pictures that you had on your Facebook. I think you're 6 foot, but you might be 6'1". Okay, he is 6 foot. Good. I put 6 foot. His classes. He's classy as Well, I put triple question marks for all three of us because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. Brett, also from the School of Hard Knocks, also got a 99.9 from PFF. And PFF, this is what they had to say about him. It's honestly a miracle Brett agreed to do this. As many times as Josh has left him hanging in the wind on the promise of game nights, Brett can somehow still stomach Josh's presence. The trolling helps the anger most likely. That's what Pro Football Focus had to say about him. Interesting. Okay, so Michael Silver apparently announced that it was Cross for the Seahawks, then took it
Silver's
back
a
and has
tool.
announced it again. Yufa says it's Cross. That makes the most sense. Hold on. Oh, the Seahawks Broncos trade. I was like, hold on, a trade. No. All right. So I feel comfortable enough announcing it, even though it's
Oh,
not coming for Breer.
I just want to go back. So the rapper Drake put 100,000 on the wide receiver Drake being wide receiver 1. So he got paid out 335,000.
Oh my God, that's ridiculous. You know how amazing it would be to be that rich where you could just like make more money having fun and doing stupid shit.
And then something I agree with, Vincent Jackson is a better comp for Drake London than Mike Evans.
Damn it. Who's Vincent Jackson is a better comp for Mike Evans?
No, than Mike Evans for Drake London.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm thinking of like current players. I'm not thinking about
I think that's a good. I think Mike
really
Evans is the closer, but yeah, Vincent Jackson is closer.
Yeah, Vincent Jackson's a really good one. Chaz is very upset that Cross is gone. So with the ninth,
it's Cross, yeah.
With the 9th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks have officially selected Charles Cross. Charles Cross out of Mississippi State. Dude, this guy is big. He is quick. He is fast. I think strength is an issue a little bit, mostly just because of what he did at the combine and what he did at his pro day. But 86.7 grade over his final season. I think like when it comes to footwork and specifically in pass blocking, he's second to Icky, but he's an iffy run blocker.
You nailed it on the mock.
Oh no, Stevie, no typo. Offensive line. Charles Cross plays the offensive line. Shut up, Stevie. I can't believe I typed offensive line. Watch this film though, guys. Like he's legitimately. He's going to be a problem in the passing game. Watch these pass offs, how quickly and how easily he takes over these stunts. Like anytime there's a guy that's trying to cross, he can stay in these blocks in the passing game. I think this
anytime somebody's trying to cross,
you can't cross, baby. But this is a great pick for the Seahawks. What is the one thing that Russell Wilson complained about? What's the one thing that Seattle fans have been complaining about for the last few years? It's been the offensive line.
Anybody with two eyes.
Anybody who watches the game of football and has watched a Seahawks game.
Ask Ufa how their offensive line is terrible.
So this is a really, really good pick for them. I wouldn't be surprised if Seattle goes like kind of pretty offensive line heavy in the draft in particular, but starting off their draft with Charles Cross here is a really, 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 really good pickup. So Stevie says, I feel bad for defensive ends. Yeah, a little bit. Will he protect Locke though? I mean, if you're a Seattle fan, you kind of have to hope that Seattle tries to make a play for Baker Mayfield, right? Like anything would be better than Drew Lock.
we're basically in the clear of teams that we're going to draft a quarterback.
Yep.
I mean, Washington could surprise, but I don't think they take a quarterback.
No, I don't think so
The
either.
Vikings aren't. Texans are somebody wild card who might draft a quarterback, but probably
I don't
not.
think they do. Look, I really do. I think where there's smoke, there's fire. They really did want Garrett Wilson. So if they have the chance, the Jets won't take another receiver here. I think the Commanders are a concern to take a receiver, but I really don't think they will. They've got Curtis Samuel. They've got Terry McLaurin. There's no reason in my mind for them to take a receiver here. And if they do, I think it would be Jamison Williams. Like if there's any team who has the ability to take Jamison Williams this early, it would be Washington, because they already have a good receiving core and they can let him kind of like mend himself and get back to what he was before he got injured. The Vikings won't take a wide receiver. I really think the Texans are going to take Garrett Wilson at 13.
Vikings could go wide receiver. I've seen them mock to him a lot. But yeah, as far as quarterbacks go, Washington's a wild card. Texans are a wild card. And then you get to 14. Ravens aren't taking a wide receiver. 15. Eagles aren't taking a wide receiver. Yeah. Or, excuse me, quarterback. And then you get to the Saints at 16. So the Saints could take a quarterback. And then you got Chargers, no. Eagles, no. Saints again. And then Steelers. So as long as we get... Like if the Steelers trade up to 15 in front of the Saints, I'd be okay, because moving up 5 spots isn't going to cost us a ton if they are going after the quarterback they want. But I am totally fine with staying at 20. I want Jordan Davis to fall, but if we take Malik or Kenny Pickett at 20 and stay put and we don't give up any draft capital, I'll consider that a small victory.
Yeah. I feel like Malik might fall all the way. I really do. I feel like Malik might fall all the way to 20 for you guys. And then you have to pick of the litter.
OL protection after Russ leaves. I think it's more important they get OL protection now because they don't have Russ's escapability, his mobility.
So since the Seahawks took Charles Cross at number 9, I already had Paul on tabs to come on to Discord with us. So I'm going to text him real fast to see if he wants to go ahead and jump in.
He's not a Seattle guy anymore.
No, but I want him to react to all the picks, so he can react to the Texans pick and he can react to the Seattle pick. Texans,
see if he'll come out on 13.
I've got Barry coming on after 13. Thank you very much. I got
said after 13. I said at 13.
At 13. Why would I have one guy come on at 13 and another guy come on after 13? I'm gonna go back to back guests like that. Ugh, get out of here. What are you? I'll wait. Fine. I told Paul 9 o'clock anyway, so we'll wait until 9. Stevie says, bold prediction, no quarterbacks taken in the first round. Jake just wants his mock draft pick of Jordan Davis at number 20 to be right so he can throw it in Luke's face. That's the only reason he wants Jordan Davis.
No, first of all, reason number 1 is I want Jordan Davis on the Steelers.
Right, yeah, that's the reason.
Reason 1B is so I can do that. Nice. Good pick. Garrett Wilson to the Jets.
Whoa, back-to-back receivers?
The Jets never took a receiver.
The Falcons took Drake Wilson. I'm an idiot. Or Drake
London.
I can't even. I thought, for some reason, I thought the Jets took Drake London. Hold on, guys. I got to get my shit together. I don't even know what
shit together.
What is the NFL? What is a draft? Yeah, they did. For some reason, I'd seen so many mocks with Drake London to the Jets that I just assumed that the Falcons were the Jets. Yeah, the Jets needed a receiver. Garrett Wilson is a great pick for them. With the 10th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the New York Jets select Garrett Wilson, wide receiver out of Ohio State. Klepter says Pete is drunk. I freaking wish I was drunk. I forgot to buy alcohol. This is a great pick. Dude, the Jets
I'm working on it.
The Jets offense now, though. The Jets offense with Garrett Wilson and I almost said Garrett London. Jesus Christ. With Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore, like that, those are 2 legitimate weapons for Zach Wilson.
You have 6 foot under there. He's a shade under 6 foot and 183. That's insane.
Yeah, that's why
he's my wide receiver. No. I'm saying, yeah. I mean, they rounded up. He's 71.6 inches, so he's a shade under 6 foot, 183 pounds. Again, I think his route running is great. His ability to catch is great. But that's why he's my wide receiver 3. Like he's so slight. A little
small, yeah.
He's so slight.
So Klepter wants to know how he'll do against press coverage. I think he does such a good job getting separation off the line of scrimmage, and he's such a good route runner. I don't know that he'll struggle too much with press coverage.
We'll see. I mean, he's a Devontae Smith type, right? They both are technicians on the route running. They both get open with their feet and not their being able to bully somebody off the line.
Right. But dude, he's so fast though. Like when he gets open and a quarterback can hit him in stride, he's so fast.
If he was like 15 to 20 pounds heavier, I'd like him a lot more.
Right. I do like the idea of being able to say Wilson to Wilson, Zach Wilson to Garrett Wilson. I traded Zach Wilson away in one of my leagues. I can't remember what I traded. Oh, I traded Zach Wilson away for 2 first rounds and a second round pick. Was that a good trade in Dynasty?
Say that again.
Zach Wilson for a 2023 first, a 2024 first, and a 2022 second round pick.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a sick trade. I know it was a good trade. I just wanted you to hear that. Ooh, Ian Rappaport announcing a trade. You heard it.
Trade.
You heard it here first through Ian Rappaport on Twitter first on the Wasted Talent Draft Show. With the Saints.
They're taking a quarterback.
Quarterback, yeah, definitely taking a quarterback. Are there people really that afraid that the Texans are taking a quarterback at 13? Yeah, it's official. The Saints have officially moved up to this spot. Trade.
It's not about the Texans, right? It's about anybody else trading up to do it.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Man,
I hope they take Willis. Please.
The annoying thing is that I did have the Saints making a trade in the first round, but I had them trading back and not up. So I'm really annoyed by that. All right, so the Saints are on the clock now. Barry says he's ready to go for 9 o'clock. Let's go, baby. Let's see. Well, I predicted a trade here on my mock. Stevie predicted a trade on his mock. Oh, it was the Ravens though, not the Saints. Oh, but I think he still gets points for a trade, even though it wasn't the right trade partner, right?
No. You got to get the trade right.
You have to get the exact trade partner right. I think it's pretty impressive to predict that a pick is going to get traded.
I mean, it's up to you if you want to give them those bonus points.
I think if somebody predicts a trade, even if they don't get the partner right, at that exact pick, I think they should get it right. Like, that's a fair point. The ghost in our ear said if it was anybody but Stevie, he'd agree. So this, do you think this is Pickett or Wilson or Willis?
Willis. Willis
is QB1, man.
Yeah, if you take Pickett over Willis, you're an idiot. It's just it's not even about like film or analytics. It's that Willis has the higher ceiling.
Yeah.
All things equal. So, I mean, Pickett's 2-3 inches taller, but he's got smaller hands. Willis has got the better arm. He's got the better mobility.
Talking about people's hands again.
It matters as a quarterback, man. And it doesn't matter, like, if you're, like, it was a big thing with Burrow. They only had 9-inch hands. Pickett is, like, 8 1/4 or 8 1/3 or something like that. Like, it's even smaller than Burrow's. And, like, he's going to have to wear gloves. He's going to be the next Teddy Two Gloves. Kenny Two Gloves. Like, what happens if you, like, so for Pittsburgh, for instance, what happens when you're playing outdoors in the winter, in the snow and the rain, and you can't grip the ball? Like, it's just a bad thing. If he was far and away better than all these other prospects, I don't think it would matter to me as much. But since he's not, it's just something that matters more.
Klepter says, I don't trust Kenny Pickett. Well, we're waiting for the Saints to make their pick. Have we heard anything yet about which direction the Saints have gone? No. Yes, no, not yet. That's, man, to get the 98th and so they get a third, they get a compensatory third and a fourth round. That's and a fourth round pick.
A third and a fourth to move down 5. That's huge.
Yeah, that's a really, really good deal for Washington. I love that. So let's go ahead and while we're waiting for the Saints to make this pick, let's go ahead and bring the final special profile up, the one that we've really all been waiting for, the coup de grace of player profiles for people that are working on this draft special right now. Let me know whenever it's up, Brett, because I'm still okay. It's up. Guys, this is the number 1 overall pick in this draft. Pro Football Focus rated him as a 100. Joshua Toofpete Beard. He is 5'11 and 3/4. He is definitely taller than Jake.
How come everybody got baby pics? I have baby pics on Facebook. I'm the only one that didn't get baby pics.
I didn't think about the baby pic until Brett really only had like a total of 10 pictures on his Facebook, and he had a baby pic, and one of my pictures was one of the ones that like almost immediately was a baby pic. So I thought about going and making yours a baby pic too. So I went back onto your Facebook and realized very quickly I was way too lazy to scroll through your Facebook to find a baby pic. So you just got cool guy hanging out with horses with his hair slicked back. And I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. This cute little tub of lard is classless, also from the School of Hard Knocks. This is what Pro Football Focus had to say about this masterpiece of a human being. What? Chris Olave. So the Saints,
they traded up for Olave?
Yeah, that's wild. We'll get to that pick in a second. This is what Pro Football Focus said about this this beautiful specimen right here. A general ne'er-do-well of sports radio. Josh formed the Wasted Talent Sports Show to show his two sides, his wasted talent in the sports talk industry, and also the fact that he was drunk when he made the name, which is a true story. I was drunk with Kerry Craig. He was visiting Houston, and we got drunk, and we came up with the idea of the name Wasted Talent. Josh is pretty much just the greatest there is. By the way, that back picture that's faded behind my baby picture, that's me catching a pass from Andy Dalton, ladies and gentlemen. That is a true 100% true fact. Andy Dalton threw me a touchdown pass at the Radio Row whenever the Super Bowl is in Houston. All right, let's go back to the 2-up real fast because this pick is in. Okay. With the 11th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Chris Olave out of Ohio State. He graded a 79.3 in his final season at Ohio State. He's fast as hell, but he's kind of got that slight build that Garrett Wilson has that you don't really like very much. I do like him as an NFL receiver, but giving up a third and a fourth round pick to move up to get Chris Olave with the other wide receivers that were available. Like, if you don't get Olave, it's not a huge deal because there's still Jamison Williams there. There's still Sky Moore. There's Christian Watson. This is Johan Dotson. Like, this is wild to me. I had Chris Olave. Yeah. Jahan is it? Look, if I see Jahan, I'm saying Johan Dotson. Is it Jahan?
Is it? I mean, Johann. Come on, he's not he's not a 17th century German composer, man. He's a wide receiver for the Penn State.
Dotson was still available. I'm moving past this. Shut up. Treylon Burks is available.
That's still crazy.
I had Olave mocked to 26th overall.
That's the first reach of the draft, I feel like, and they paid up to do it.
This is a major reach. I think this is one of the bigger reaches we've seen in a while. Stevie says Johan is an offensive weapon, quote.
I think that's fitting. They're both really hard to tell apart, in my opinion, as far as like how good they are.
Their skill sets are almost identical.
What's insane is that Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, and Jamison Williams were all on the same team. Yeah, Jamison Williams was terrible at Ohio State, and he transferred to Alabama. He couldn't beat out these two guys, and now he's again can't beat out these two guys because they both got drafted ahead of him.
I don't like this at all. I don't like this.
No, if they took him at 16, I'd be like, oh, that's great, that's perfect. That fits a need they have. He's the perfect kind of prototype receiver they need. Trading up the third and the fourth pick to go up 5 to pick him is insane.
Did I miss the highlights play? Did I miss them? I missed them. They're pretty. No, it's okay. They're pretty much the same thing as Garrett Wilson's anyway.
I had Olave going 25th to the Bills.
Yeah, I had him 26th. That was that late first round is the grade that he got. It's where he should have gone. It's a little wild. Klepter says, can you tell me the last senior wide receiver who broke out in the NFL? Chaz says Stingley has played 10 games over the past 2 seasons. Caserio is taking a risk. This pisses me off. I like it. I think it's good. I don't think Caserio would. Whoa, the Lions are moving up to 12?
Oh my God, this has got to be Malik.
It has to be.
I'm going to keep saying it until it's true. and then we can clip it and I'm going to look like a genius.
Okay, so the Detroit Lions are now moving up and trading to number 12 overall. What if it's another receiver?
Wait. I don't know if I trust this guy on Twitter, but he says the Lions are moving up to 12 for Alabama Jamison Williams.
Oh my God, I literally just said it. Why? Why? I guess because they're afraid the Texans are going to take a receiver there. With Garrett Wilson gone, I don't think so. This run on these wide receivers is going even. I told you. What did I tell you? What I tell you? As soon as if a wide receiver gets drafted to the Falcons, there's going to be a massive run on these wide receivers. But not even I could have predicted 2 trades for people to move up for 2 wide receivers that they probably could have got. Well, the Lions couldn't have gotten him later on. They couldn't have gotten Jamison Williams later on. But this is insane to me.
I mean,
What?
So yeah. That's pretty good for the Lions. The Vikings are moving down 20 picks, giving up 46 and getting 32 and then 2.2, which is nice.
Brett, who did you hear? I see
That's pretty good. I see the trade from Pelissari. I don't see who's actually. I mean, it's Benjamin Solak saying that they're taking Jamison Williams. I just don't know. Okay, so Jamison Williams to the Lions.
Wow.
This is just the biggest indictment of the QB class ever, right? Yeah. These two teams need QBs, and they trade up, and then they take wide receivers instead of the QBs. Like, that's crazy.
Let's bring that player profile up. All right, I don't even know what to think. I never in all my wildest dreams of this spot in the draft at 11 and 12 did I think I knew this wide receiver class was good. I knew it was top heavy, and I knew it was a little deep in that top heaviness, but never in my wildest dreams did I think teams were going to move up into these spots and take wide receivers here. Jamison Williams was I think he's more than a deep threat. I think he's a pretty good route runner. He has some physicality to him. He's a little skinny, but I think he's tall for a speedy guy. 81.6 over his final season. Who knows what he could have done if he would have stayed healthy for the entire season? Who knows if he would have been the number 1 receiver off the board if he had stayed healthy for an entire season? So the Lions go out and get Jamison Williams to pair with Amon-Ra St. Brown in their wide receiver core. They still got Jared Goff there. They need a quarterback. Like, this is wild to me that we've seen back-to-back receivers at now, what is that, 10, 11, and 12, and two of those teams traded up for those wide receivers. This is nuts. Klepter says, what about DJ Chark? Forgot about DJ Chark, but also, can I'll counter your what about DJ Chark with my own who cares about DJ Chark. Yufa says, what bad QB improves the most with a new wide receiver? The highlights on Jamison. I mean, he does some stuff. Like, he does stuff when he gets the ball in his hands. He can be really electric. His speed is absolutely insane. His hands are pretty good. I think he does a good job of getting himself getting good positioning. But this is nuts. So now, what do the Texans do at number 13? All this noise about the Eagles traded up to 13.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! What is happening right now? Well, we've known the Eagles have wanted a receiver all along.
Bro, if this is Burks, if this is Burks, it's gonna be wild.
Another trade right now. The Texans are trading the 13th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm like trying to promote this and be like, I'm just gonna wait until these trades stop coming through, because I was gonna pro and be like, the last 2 teams that are the last 2 quarterback needy teams. Now I'm gonna have to say the last 3 quarterback needy teams.
This is just nuts, man.
Okay, we gotta wait and see what this pick is. Let me know.
I'm not a fan of trading up, and if you're gonna trade up, you need to pick a position that matters. Like, this is a deep wide receiver draft. None of these wide receivers. Yeah, it's insane. I can't. And for two teams that needed quarterbacks, like, this is just Like, I've been shitting on this quarterback class for a while. I didn't think it'd be this bad. I didn't think teams would be trading up to not draft quarterbacks.
No. That's not bad. That's a 4th.
I mean, the Texans have a lot of holes. Get as many picks as you can.
Yeah,
who cares?
They're
moving down a couple. They're moving down 2 spots.
3 spots. Oh yeah, 2 spots, and they get a 4th and 2 fifths. I like that. That's a good move by this area.
Just get a bunch of.
That's a very Patriots move.
Yeah, it definitely is, and it's absolutely great. They just infuse your team with a lot of young, cheap talent for now. until you find your quarterback.
Any news on the pick yet? Jeez.
Yeah, I'm
3
still.
trades in a row. How pissed do you think the Texans are right now that the 2 teams ahead of them got the hauls that they did, and then the Texans only got a 4th and 2/5? Like, you see,
Yeah,
like, 3rds and 4s.
Yeah, they're also only moving down too, man. Like,
Right,
the,
yeah.
the lines moved up from 32.
Well,
The
the one that would really piss me off is the Saints and the Vikings, because it was only 3 spots, right? For the Saints and the Vikings? Or was it 4 spots?
No, Saints with the Commanders, it was 5 spots.
Oh, that's right. Okay, 5 spots is a little bit more, but still. I honestly, if they're moving to 15, and Jake, you're really not gonna like me like hearing me say this, I would totally be fine with the Texans taking Jordan Davis at 15 if they keep that pick.
Oh, I mean, I'm a big Jordan Davis fan, so I think he's been mocked to go to the Ravens a lot, and that would absolutely kill me. So if he goes to the Texans, I'm fine with it.
Are you? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were saying, is that he was the receiving core for a year was Garrett Wilson, Olave, and Jamison Williams.
That's nuts.
That's insane.
Are you a little blown away that that Kyle Hamilton, like, when do you think Kyle Hamilton goes now? Because I think he's the most talented, still by far the most talented player left on the board. Actually, you know what? At 15, I think the Texans should immediately pull the trigger on him. But does he go to Baltimore?
Yeah, I think he's like a position
for the Eagles.
Oh my God!
The Eagles moved up to get Jordan Davis.
Yeah,
I like him, but come on.
I'm telling you, he was linked to the Ravens for a lot. Like, a lot of people had him going to the Ravens.
So
they needed to jump the Ravens to draft him.
I'm more okay with that than if they had taken a wide receiver there.
Man, I like Jordan Davis a lot. We're gonna get. It looks like we're gonna get Malik Willis at 20, and Luke Sawhook is going to be safe from my ire.
Oh, okay. I can finally tweet this out now. There we go. We could tweet it. All right. So Jordan Davis with the oh fuck, I forgot what pick this. With the 13th pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles, after trading with the Houston Texans, have now selected Jordan Davis. With that pick, Jordan Davis is 6'3", 341. It's really like, it's his measurables that are the most insane thing. Like his measurables and the combination of that and his athleticism, because he came out in the combine and he weighs what did I say, 340, 350, and he ran a 4.78 40. I don't think people understand how freaking insane that is for a guy of that size to run a 4.78 40. Devontae Wyatt's also really fast. They were both interior defensive linemen at Georgia. Devontae Wyatt is 304 and he ran a 4.77. But to be 340 pounds, Jordan Davis's hands are huge. He's freaking tall as shit. I think he is going to be an absolute monster in the run game for any team that would have gotten him. The Eagles getting him really pisses me off. I wanted him outside of the NFC East. And I'm sorry, everybody. Jordan Davis was one of those guys that I did not pull highlights for because I don't give a shit about offensive and defensive linemen outside of the top 10. Get wrecked. Outside of the top 10, you're only getting quarterbacks. And there actually are some more defensive linemen, I think, that I have highlights for. But yeah, Euphesus, that's scary fast at that size. I can't even explain. The fastest I ever ran a 40 was 4.54. Back when we were in Monterey and I was training with a couple of people. You remember? I don't know if you remember Idris Wardell. I don't know if you ever met him or anything, but I was training with Idris and a couple other guys that played football, and they timed me 4 times. I ran a 4.54, a 4.55, and a 4.54 on the football field, and I felt like I was as fast as thunder. I weighed a whole 100 pounds less than Jordan Davis, and I only ran 0.2 of a second faster than him. It's stupid. Klepter says, why weren't you drafted? Because the problem is that I was a workout warrior. Like I was training to try to walk onto a football team when I got out of the Air Force. I was in the Air Force. I started working out a bunch. I started training. It was before I had kids. I wanted to be the next Mark Dodge. Mark Dodge was a linebacker for Texas A&M. He was an Army veteran who then went and played football after the fact, and I wanted to follow in that same path. Then I had the first kid. The dream didn't completely die, but it started to die then. And then when I had the second kid, the dream completely died, and I started drinking beer and eating way too much food. So, so it was bad. Yeah, at that, Jake can confirm what I looked like back then. I was benching 420, 425. At 225, it was 32 reps at 225. My max on squat was 650. I was a beast of a person, but I was just a workout warrior. I was a workout warrior. That's it. Now I'm massive in a completely different and way more hurtful way.
Yes. Same mass.
Yeah, same mass, different
same
places.
Mass. Just a different shape.
Like, at the end of Wall-E, where you see the guys go from being fat to being more fit, and the stomach goes up into their shoulders a little bit more. It's that, but the exact opposite. Chaz wants to know, first time ever 4 wide receivers in the top 12. I don't know, actually.
We don't have it. We got a producer. We don't have like a stats guy
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
Yeah. Ooh, okay. We do know that it was the first time that 2 corners were drafted in the top 4 in the modern era. So that's a good stat. I'll try to look it up, but maybe it is. It shouldn't have been, though. That's kind of where I'm at. Even if it was the first time that's happened, that shouldn't have happened. So I'm kind of like, nah. Christian Watson could be next. I like that. Yuva says, I want receipts if anyone says their mock is perfect. Look, no, it's wow. Brett was perfect through 13. That's insane. So the Eagles take Jordan Davis. We got Baltimore coming up next at 14, and then we're gonna have the Texans again at 15. The Texans really must have had like multiple guys that were equally rated for them to want to trade down. I think this is totally fine. It's a very Patriots move, which makes sense because it's Caserio behind the wheel for them right now.
Every team could use Jordan Davis, though. He's a beast. I think I didn't say much about him when you were talking about him, but I think he's got the Aaron Donald type upside, and that's great for a nose tackle or inside D lineman. Him being in Philly is perfect. They still got crazy DNs that Philly drafts D line. Philly drafts D line. They signed a D lineman away from us. His name escapes me right now, but he's very good too. Fletcher Cox was a mainstay on that D line, but he's getting older. I think Jordan Davis is a great pick for them. I'm a little surprised about the trade up, other than like I said, Jordan Davis has been linked to the Ravens a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe that they had good intel on that. But yeah, I think it's a great pick for them, and they didn't really have to pay much to move up in front of Baltimore, it looks like. So
no, it's a 4th and 2/5, which that's going to be good for the Texans, right? Because the Texans need so many players, but that's relatively low cost for the Eagles. Chairman wants to know, I love that, or Chairman said, I love that Detroit got aggressive and went up to get a wide receiver. Josh, what's the scoop on the Williams injury? I'm gonna have to disagree ever so slightly with you. I actually don't love that they moved up to get a receiver a lot, but if they were going to take any receiver, at least it was Jamison Williams instead of Chris Olave. And I think they get to move up for a wide receiver. I would have rather them gotten one of those. I would have rather them gotten a Sky Moore and a Christian Watson later on, than giving up what they got. But they needed a quarterback. I don't know. How do you feel about Jamison Williams? It is Kyle Hamilton. Son of a bitch. I really wanted the Texans to take him. Kyle Hamilton, number 14 overall to the Baltimore Ravens. Is that per Albert Breer or who else? All right. With the 14th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Kyle Hamilton, safety out of Notre Dame. And this guy, Chairman says I love that they're being aggressive. Agree. Yes, I agree with that. God. Kyle Hamilton is a difference maker at the safety position. And you said it last week when we were doing the community mock draft. A difference maker at the safety position can be a huge thing for a defense. And if there's one team, and this sucks for you, I'm very sorry. If there's one team who did not need to get Kyle Hamilton's abilities, it was the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think that this could have played out any better for Baltimore, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, they had their pick between Jordan.
Yeah. No.
Jordan
Please,
Davis.
yeah. Please don't make us pick between Jordan Davis and Kyle Hamilton. Oh yes. No.
So they were getting a good player on defense regardless. They got hole plugger Hamilton. Old hole plugger Hamilton.
Old hole plugger Hamilton.
So yeah, it definitely sucks for the Steelers. Trubisky or Malik Willis or whoever starts for us this year gonna have a hell of a time against Kyle Hamilton for the next 4, 5, 6 years, however long he stays. Yeah, he's great. I think Baltimore is a perfect spot for him. The way that's the legacy of Ed Reed. Yep. They've had really good safeties there over the years after post Ed Reed. So he's going to get coached up well, and I think he's definitely going to be a difference maker. His measurables aren't that great, but his game speed seems to be just fine. But as a Steelers fan, I'm hoping that his measurables really hold him back.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see. I'm trying to get Barry in here real fast.
When he jumps in, I'm going to go pee.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine with me. That works.
Because unlike you,
yeah,
Barry on deck.
Yeah, it should be Barry Laminack or Barry on deck. I'm telling him to jump into the waiting room.
Yeah, I'm crushing these high noons. So
how many have you had so far?
This is number 3.
Oh Jesus!
So
and my
I don't know if I'm gonna
get me any seltzers.
I don't know if I'm gonna make it to pick 20.
I need you as drunk as you possibly can for pick 20.
No, we're in the clear now. Like we're not trading a bunch of draft capital to move up anymore, which is nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
That is good. Well, while we're waiting for Barry to come in here, where do you think the Texans should go here? Like, if you were the Texans, where would you go with the players that are left on the board?
I like Karlaftis. I like Devin Lloyd.
I'm really leaning Devin Lloyd now that Kyle Hamilton is gone.
I mean, taking a quarterback, Malik Willis, taking Treylon Burks, Jermaine Johnson.
Jermaine Johnson wouldn't be a bad pick. The last couple of weeks I've kind of started to fall in love with him a little bit more. God, they really do need everything. This pick, it says the 15th pick from Miami and Philadelphia to Houston. How many times does this damn pick get traded? Trent McDuffie.
It's the year mom of draft picks.
Yeah. Wait, did you say? Did you just tell me a your mom joke?
That was not necessarily
to
you.
Bro,
it was just
my mom just died, Jake.
Come on, bro.
How dare you? No, you're trying to backtrack now because you realize what you did. This is what happens when you start drinking, Jake. You start drinking and you get mean.
I say hateful things.
You know what? So the NFL, I think Trent McDuffie could be an option here too. I wouldn't.
I mean, do they pass on the corners early? I mean, they already got one, right? Do they need another one?
But I can see them going double. Yeah, they need another one. They need literally everything. No way. Are you kidding?
Really? That's so strange. Why?
Okay, so wow, I can't believe they traded again. Jermaine,
it's so strange.
Albert Breer also said Jermaine Johnson probably the most notable slide of the night so far. I don't feel like he's a slide at all. He has been moving up draft boards and I do like him, but I don't necessarily know that it's a slide or think that it's a slide.
Well, so Jermaine Johnson was somebody who was rising up mock drafts leading up to this week for no reason other than they heard teams had graded him highly. Right. So maybe that was all smoke. Because he really wasn't rated that highly outside of that, right? Like his prospect grades were lower first round, second round. But this week he started shooting up mock draft boards because of what, people get insider information from the teams. But a lot of that could be smoke, and that's what it seems like. Like people had him mocked in the first top 10. So I think if he falls to the middle or late first round like he is, I think he's just kind of normalizing back to where he was supposed to be.
I wonder if Kyle Hamilton's even found out that he got drafted by the Ravens yet. They just showed Kyle Hamilton on ESPN, and he looked a little angry. If you're him, you got to be pretty happy that you went to Baltimore, right?
Come on, Chaz.
What did Chaz say?
Fake account. Come on.
No way. Yeah, it's got to. Sorry, I was deceived. Fake account. Oh, y'all are reading. Y'all look, Chaz. I love you, Chaz. I love you. We don't need you saying the Eagles have traded up 6 times in the chat,
And then be wrong.
And please verify. That's why I asked. Was that from Albert Breer or somebody else?
Breer.
Verify.
Kenyon Green.
Wow, at 15. Oh, look, I love this pick. We will not have any highlights on him.
Guard in the top 15.
This is insane. I think that Kenyon Green over Linderbaum's a little. I like Kenyon Green. I really, really do. I just need everybody to know that I'm not a 2%er. If I were going with an interior, but here's the thing about Green. At least he is a guard, but he can play every position. He played every single position at Texas A&M. He played left tackle, he played right tackle, he played guard, he played center. Kenyon Green can literally play anywhere on the offensive line that you need him to. He probably fits best at guard and right tackle, but the Texans already have their left tackle. They already have their right tackle. Kenyon Green can play guard for them, and if they do ever move on from Laramie Tunsil, they can move Titus Howard over to the left tackle, and they can put Kenyon Green at right tackle. I agree with Chaz. Chaz said we need linemen, and Kenyon Green, at the very least, Kenyon Green is probably the most versatile offensive lineman that could have been drafted in the first round. He's definitely the most versatile right now, but 15 just feels.
You want to know how much of a reach it was?
Yeah, go ahead and give it to me.
You didn't even mock him in the first round.
I didn't. I did not mock him in the first round. Because I had where I would have mocked him to would have either been Dallas at number 24 or the Bengals at number 31. Those are the spots that made the most sense. I think 15 is a massive reach for the Texans. Although if it pays off, I think it could be. It's not a sexy pick. It's not where I would have gone. I also, in my mock, I didn't have them trading back either.
I didn't have him in the first round either.
Yeah, I don't think many people would have had him in the first round, and definitely not in the top 20. Anywhere near the top 20. So while I don't hate it, I don't love it. Hey, VB, thank you so much. VB dropping 1,000 bits. 1,000 bits. VB said, "Oh no, I gave 25 subs to Kyle and it crashed the stream." Oh no. Kyle's doing the Twitch show right now. Ravens have traded wide receiver Marquise Brown to the Cardinals. Is that real too?
Ooh, if that's real, I like that.
VB, thank you. Thank you. Oh, according to Field Yates, that's a good one. A source that okay, Sleeper App's pretty good too.
And VB, pick 100 to the Cardinals for pick 23. Okay. Yeah, I like that trade.
Okay. Yeah. So it's Hollywood and a pick for the 23rd pick.
It's Hollywood and the 100th pick. So yeah.
Hey, you know what this means? And I need everybody to listen to me and understand this. You know what this means? This means the Rashad Bateman show is here for you dynasty play.
Oh my God. I've had Rashad Bateman. I have so much Rashad Bateman exposure.
I do too. I am very hard right now because if you bought into Rashad Bateman early, you knew how good Rashad Bateman was going to be in the NFL. He is now the wide receiver 1 in Baltimore. So congratulations. Johan, wait, what? At 16? The Commanders are taking Dotson? Wow. That's wild.
Johann Sebastian Boxen.
So this is how confident I was that Dotson, I almost did this. This is how confident I was Dotson was going to make it to the first round. He's a wide receiver that I didn't make highlights for because I didn't think his ass was going in the first round. Christian Watson's still on the board. Treylon Burks is still on the board. Why in the hell are they taking Dotson? Like they need a receiver, but not Dotson. Of all, I would have taken Sky. I mean highlights for fucking Sky Moore before I made highlights for Dotson.
You're in love with Sky Moore, man.
I really am. I really am in love with him. He's not going to go in the first round, but I am very much so in love with him. Let me see.
But yeah, over Treylon Burks is a little wild to me.
Yeah, over Treylon Burks, over Christian Watson is wild to me, if I'm being honest. Definitely, I'm staying away from Dotson in Dynasty now, though. In Dynasty drafts, at least not as high as I would have taken him.
Yeah, I guess. I think again, wide receiver is more talent based than team based. So I don't know. I don't think it changes my rank of him basically at all.
It does for me because I just can't deal with Ryan Fitzpatrick with Carson Wentz throwing him the ball. Okay, this is a lot going on. Damn it, this is a lot going on. Okay, let's try to gather where we've been with the 16th pick. We already said Kenyon Green, Texas A&M. Super happy for my Aggie. I think it's going to be a good pick. Yeah, sorry, the 15th pick. It's going to be a good pick. I think it's a reach. It is what it is. Commanders at the 16th pick take Dotson, wide receiver out of Penn State. I like Dotson. I like his skill set. I think he's going to be good for them. Did I make a graphic for Dotson? I didn't even make a player profile for Dotson. That's how convinced I was he wasn't going to be in the first round. This is wild. Zach Attack is in the chat, and you searched it all over. Zach Attack's in the chat. Zach, we've already heard the pick, the 16th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Washington Commanders have selected Johann
Sebastian.
No, Jesus, they drafted Dotson. They drafted wide receiver Dotson out of Penn State. Dude doesn't have a first name now. He's just Dotson now. VB says #fire Easterby. I don't think so. I don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's
fire Easterby. Yes.
Well, yes, but
that should have been done yesterday.
Sorry. Yes, fire Easterby, but not because of this pick. I think this is going to end up being a pick that I'm totally okay with this at number 15. I'm not super excited about it, but if you look at the guys who are left on the board right now, right? Like if I'm looking at all the prospects that are still available in this draft, he's not a bad pick. He's just a few picks too early. I get them not wanting to take Treylon Burks. Jermaine Johnson and George Karlaftis probably would have been better picks here. What are you saying? Oh my God.
Marquise Brown was traded for a higher first round pick than Tyreek Hill.
Oh,
that's
no.
Insane.
Hold on. No. Hold on. I do not love Jack Easterby. Do not even try to say that. I do not love Jack Easterby. That is defamation. I will sue you so hard for defaming me. That is libel. It is slander. I will not accept that. No, thank you, VB. I'm not a Jack Easterby fan. I just meant that I don't think Hold on. That is not okay. That is identity theft. Thank you very much, Brett. That is identity theft. I will sue you too. This is bullshit. I don't like this at all. What is happening right now? I've given Brett a completely new vehicle to troll me with. No! Jake, shut up. Oh, you guys are the absolute worst. I do not love Jack Easterby. I need everybody to know I do not love Jack Easterby. Cody Stutes said there's the left guard for the Texans, played high school ball in Houston area, went to Texas A&M and now back to Houston. Nick Casario watched him in person at Texas A&M when they hosted Alabama. Kenyon Green is a very good offensive lineman. I'm trying. Stop it. BB said KISSING and Yufa said screenshotted. Okay. This is bullshit. Now I'm clipping and I'm hold on. I'm adding stream markers. I'm doing everything I can. There needs to be evidence that this is not true. This is horse shit. Barry on deck in the waiting room. All right, everybody, come into the draft with me and Jake. After the Texans made their picks, everybody give a warm wasted talent welcome to Barry Laminaga. Barry on deck. Barry, what's up, dude? Barry, oh no, Barry. We can't hear you. You may have to change your microphone settings, your microphone or your audio settings. I swear he's in the stream voice with us right now. You might have to go click on the cog wheel and then go to voice and video. Here's the problem, guys. Here's the problem. And I have the chance to do this because he can't fight. He can't defend himself. Barry's just a really old man. All right. Now we love Barry, right?
You kiss my ass.
Oh, man.
You kiss my raggedy ass, pal. Hey, can we curse on this? Because I
Yeah,
hope
100%, man. I'm not on front page or anything. You better believe. You better believe.
You raggedy bitch. There we go. I got to get that out of the way.
Okay. So much has happened in this draft so far.
It's crazy. I'm trying to live tweet it. I'm like, my Twitter fingers aren't good enough. I need to be like a lot of these keyboard warriors. That's when it comes into play.
I can't even. Demata says, is Barry invisible? Yeah, Barry's invisible. Brett's running the show from his computer right now, so we just decided to do audio because it'd be a little bit easier. VB says Barry loves Easterby, so everybody needs to keep that in the chat. God. Definitely keep that receipt. Okay. Let's try to break this down bit by bit. Let's just start with the Texans' 2 picks first.
Yep.
Number 3, they draft Derrick Stingley Jr. out of LSU. He had great.
Whoa! Hold on.
What?
Blockbuster trade. Titans are planning to trade wide receiver AJ Brown to the Eagles per Adam Schefter.
What?
For
AJ
what?
Brown going to the Eagles. We don't know the details yet.
Whoa!
Well, you can't break news with half the news.
Yeah,
that's just what
news. Blockbuster trade. The Titans are trading.
AJ Brown. I got half the trade, bro.
Yeah, but what are they getting back? Are they, the fuck?
If Schefter doesn't know, how do you want me to know?
I don't know, but Schefter's just trying to be first. You're trying to be right. Come on now.
Okay, all right. Well, once we get,
it's my job to mess with people.
Once we get more information, we'll dive into that. Let's just talk about the Texans pick. Chaz did just link me, or he quote tweeted a tweet from Paul Gallant, who's going to join the show in a second. On ESPN, they showed Kenyon Green getting drafted by the Texans, and he is not happy about it. He's sad. He looks dejected, and then at the very end, he starts shaking his head. Did not want to get drafted. Kenyon Green himself, who got drafted by the Texans at 15. All right, so the Texans' 2 draft picks. At number 3, they go with Derrick Stingley Jr. out of LSU. At number 15, they trade out of 13, get an extra 4th and 2 5ths, which I liked.
Barry,
and then
hold on, Barry.
Yes.
The Titans are trading AJ Brown to the Eagles in exchange for Philly's 18th overall pick and another 3rd round pick.
What?
For AJ Brown.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting.
Oh, fuck! I'm an AJ Brown owner in Dynasty. Now he's got Jalen throwing him the ball. Fuck me.
Listen.
No, he doesn't have Jalen throwing the ball. He has Jalen trying to throw him the ball.
Well, yeah.
He has Jalen getting the ball in the vicinity.
Listen,
he has pass attempt only.
You need to take the long-term view and hope that the Eagles draft CJ Stroud next year.
Hey, do you get points for run blocking from the receiver position? Because that'll be dope.
Fucking shit. I was riding my Rashad Bateman high too.
It's PPP, points per pancake.
AJ Brown gonna be a pancake machine, baby.
Okay, all right.
He's what we call a hybrid.
You're just gonna move him to tight end. All right, Derrick Stingley Jr. at 3, Kenyon Green, guard out of Texas A&M at number 15, but he's super flexible. He can play multiple different offensive line positions. What's your reaction to the Texans picks?
All right, so let's just start with their 3rd overall pick. I was a champion of the fact that this team, as bad as they are, with as many needs as they have on both sides of the ball, I didn't care what they did. They just had to get it right, and it could not be any risk involved at 3. If they wanted to, make a little reach or go with somebody that was questionable at 13, cool. But at 3, you had to hit. And after Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson were off the board, you look at it and you go, could you go Sauce Gardner? Okay. Some questions about being in Cincinnati, but he's definitely a lockdown corner, and they need help there, right? For me, at that moment in that spot, I think Derrick Stingley Jr., for as great as he was his freshman year and the skill set that he has, it was way too risky. Because what if he's never the same, right? I'm not saying he's bad. And I'm not saying he's going to be bad. What I'm saying is it was too big of a risk for that spot, in my opinion.
Yep, agreed.
You could have gone Sauce.
Yeah.
Thibodeau was a little scary, but you could have done that. Or if you're the Texans and you really wanted to do well, you could have went Evan Neal or Ike Ekwonu and been fine. And no one would have questioned that pick if you grab one of the first 2 tackles off the board at 3. I think they swung and missed. It was a risk, and I don't know. I just don't like it. And then you look, and if they wouldn't have traded down and stayed at 13, then you see that you still could have got help on the back end of that defense, because Hamilton slid to 14. You could have stayed pat at 13 grabbed Kyle Hamilton, a hybrid safety that could come up and stop the run, play a little linebacker if you need some help, great routes to the ball. Yeah, he ran a little slow, but who gives a shit? The dude is a hybrid and a once-in-a-generation talent at safety. I think Kyle Hamilton would have been perfect in the back end of that defense to cover up some of those mistakes that some of the corners might make. I think they would have been better off going tackle at 3 and seeing it now, Hamilton at 13. That's
Jermaine Johnson went to 17. Is that
Zion?
Zion Johnson. Zion Johnson out of Tulsa.
2 guards in the top 17.
Or out of Boston College. Thank you very much. Sorry, Tyler Smith is out of Tulsa. I agree with you, Barry. I would have loved to have seen Kyle Hamilton at number 13.
He fell that far.
Yeah, and especially if you could have shored up your defense, the future of your defense, and could have been Derrick Stingley and Kyle Hamilton. Could you imagine what that secondary would look like 2 or 3 years from now? Holy shit. So I think I agree with you, but I do. Was it worth? Okay, I guess what it comes down to is it worth missing out on Kyle Hamilton to get 3 extra picks that are a 4th and 2 5ths? I kind of feel like no. I would have rather had the generational safety talent, but
I agree with you because you know what? 4th and 5th round picks are going to give you depth, and sure, you need that. But before you round out your roster with depth, you need to get some playmakers, and you need to get some talent that is going to is a plus at these positions.
Yeah,
especially positions that are important. In fact, I mean, don't let me be the guy that promotes his Twitter and all that, but I sent out a tweet just a little while ago at Barry is funny. And but this is the breakdown if you look at it this way. Top 10 picks in the NFL draft. 3 edge rushers, right? Defensive end edge rushers. 3 offensive tackles, 2 cornerbacks, 2 wide receivers. What does that tell you? All the bad teams are bad on the edges, and they're bad in the receiving game on both sides of the ball.
Treylon Burks to the Titans.
Treylon Burks to the Titans. So I guess they didn't want to pay AJ Brown.
They didn't want to pay AJ
Treylon Burks. Yeah. That feels a little off. Okay, let's get into some of these trades real fast.
He's definitely staying my wide receiver 1 in fantasy.
Yeah,
they have nobody else on that depth chart.
Okay, so let's go. Hold on, let's go through these last 2 selections real fast before we jump into these picks, I guess. So the Los Angeles Chargers, 17th overall, select Zion Johnson. We saw that graphic a second ago, guard out of Boston College. Again, a player I don't have film for because he is a fucking guard, and I don't give a shit. At 18 overall, the Tennessee Titans select Treylon Burks, who was I almost called you Brett, who was Jake's wide receiver 1, especially in Dynasty. I think this definitely keeps him as wide receiver 1 in Dynasty. But I think there are a lot of people who don't like Ryan Tannehill enough to make him fall down a little bit. Maybe you could get a steal in your dynasty. But Treylon Burks he's a physical freak. Brett, can you take the Barry on the line down and then we'll bring it back up after the highlights? Treylon Burks highlights are absolutely insane though. Like in the screen game, if he is a playmaker when you get the ball in his hands. He's not a great route runner. He's not the most physical off the line, but if you get the ball in his hands, he's fast, he's athletic, he's freakish. I think this is a good pick. It's just crazy the route that we got. Like to trade AJ Brown to pick him here is just weird.
I think Treylon comps really well to AJ Brown, so he fits that same mold for them.
That's fair. And
I don't understand how the Cardinals couldn't sweeten the deal to get AJ Brown if they gave up 23 for Marquise Brown.
Could you imagine?
AJ Brown is like 3.5 times minimum better than Marquise Brown.
Yeah, and so the Titans get a 3rd and Treylon Burks for AJ Brown. I guess that's fine. I don't feel like that's way undervalued for AJ Brown. Okay, Barry. Whoa! Wow. Okay, AJ Brown. The ghost in our ears just told us that AJ Brown with the Eagles would get a 4-year, $100 million extension. How much guaranteed? $57 million guaranteed. 4 years, $100 million, $57 million guaranteed from the Eagles. That is absolute insanity. That's per Mike Garofalo. Titans look like they're feeling pretty happy right now with that pick of Treylon Burks. Okay, Barry. All the trades that have happened. All the insanity that's happened in the first half of this first round so far, because we're still just barely into the second half of the first round. How crazy was it to see 3 very quarterback needy teams trade up back into the first round or higher into the first round, and then take 2 wide receivers and a pass rusher, right, or an offensive lineman. What was it like seeing what do you think about this quarterback class? What do you think about those trades?
Well, I think it says a lot about this quarterback class. I think it says a lot when you've got the Panthers sitting at 6, who probably could have maybe moved down a little bit if they wanted to. I mean, you had guys that wanted to move up, but I think it says a lot about the quarterbacks. And it, like, for me, that Panthers pick, I mean, I like Iquonu. That's great, but who's he protecting? Sam Darnold?
Yeah.
Like, package that shit up and go get Baker.
Yeah, Jake thinks it's going to be Baker.
Go get Jimmy G. Go get Baker Mayfield. I don't care. I mean, I don't know that I would, if you had your choice. I don't think I'd go get Baker, but go do something. But getting an offensive tackle, which you expect the guy to be around for 10 years or so, great. Yeah. But that wasn't the primary need for the Carolina Panthers. They absolutely needed a quarterback, and they just didn't do it. They whiffed on it. I tell you. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but I think to answer your question, it says a lot about the quarterbacks in this draft. Just way too many questions about if you're going to move up or you're going to be in the top half of the first round of the draft taking a quarterback, they better be a franchise caliber quarterback. And I don't think anybody thinks these cats are.
Okay, well, speaking of moving back up in the first round for a franchise guy, the Saints trading up to 11th. Jake immediately said that was Malik. That was Malik Willis. He thought that was going to be a quarterback. They trade up to 11th for Chris Olave. What do you think about that trade?
I wonder. You saw Detroit take a wide receiver. By the way, I think Detroit right now winning the first round. In my opinion.
I agree.
I know Jamison Williams is injured.
But when he's healthy, though.
Yeah.
And to get Aiden Hutchinson at number 2 is just ridiculous.
Unbelievable for them. That just fell in their lap. Michigan guy in Detroit. You couldn't have written a better script for both the Lions and Aiden Hutchinson. But I like their draft. I like what they did. I like moving up and getting Williams. If you thought that he wasn't going to last. Now, nobody's taking the Commanders took a receiver a little bit later, but Detroit also had a ton of issues that they needed positions they needed to fill. I like it. I think they won it. The Saints, they needed a wide receiver. They absolutely did.
They did, but Olave, man, with Traylon still on the board and Jamison still on the board. Yeah. It just felt like a huge reach.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I think they could have gotten a Traylon. What did they move up from? I forget. Where were they at?
They moved up from 16th to 11th, so they moved up 5 picks and gave up a 3rd round pick in the process.
Oof, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's
way too much to move up to 11. If you think Olave is that much better than Dotson or Burks, the ones that have gone in that range where they would have been.
Yeah, I didn't like the Dotson pick either. I think Dotson was a reach for the Commanders, but we all knew that there was going to be a run on these wide receivers. I literally said, I was like, if a wide receiver gets taken here at 8 by the Falcons, there will be a run on the wide receivers. And sure enough, that's when you see 2 picks later, it's Garrett Wilson, then it's Chris Olave, then it's Jamison Williams. And then a few picks later, all of a sudden you got Dotson. Now it's Treylon Burks. And now you're looking at teams like the Packers and the Chiefs who are like, we need a first round wide receiver real bad. And they've got Christian Watson and Sky Moore. Like, those are the best guys left on the board for them. So
where do you have those cats ranked? Those don't seem like first
Watson's
round.
my number 5. I think Watson's absolutely a first round guy. Okay. Sky Moore is Sky Moore. I love him. And Jake made fun of me earlier for having a man crush on Sky Moore. I do, but I think he's going to be a great slot receiver. The dude just loves to play physical, and he has no problem making catches in traffic. So I think he ends up going in the 2nd round. He's not a first round guy, in my opinion. He could sneak into the first round, especially now. If there's a run on wide receivers, this is why I made player profiles for both these guys who probably should have been second round guys, 2nd round receivers. So yeah, I don't know. What's your favorite and your least favorite pick so far in the first round?
I think my favorite pick. It's a good question. I guess I would say, well, it's even the Giants. Evan Neal, I like him. He could play 3 different positions.
Stevie Buns loves hearing you say that. God, don't
especially at 7. I think a lot of people thought Neal could have gone top 5 easily.
Yeah.
And so if you're sitting back at 7 and you need help on the O line and you get Evan Neal to fall to you, that's That's a big deal for the Giants, and especially now that they've kind of decommitted from Jones. They didn't exercise his 5th-year option, so they're kind of saying like, look, we know you're not the guy. And the Giants are probably going to be bad this year, probably picking at the top end of the draft next year. And that's probably when they'll get or try another franchise QB. So I kind of like it. You had a franchise level tackle available to you in at 7.
Yeah. You got to take it.
It's not bad. I mean, everything else, everything like the top end of the draft, top 5, 6 kind of played out like people thought. Stingley still going at 3 was my biggest, the one I like the least.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Saints are taking Northern Iowa tackle Penning.
Fuck you, Saints. Get wrecked. Trevor Penning sucks.
Oh my God.
Guy. He's a fake tough guy. What a shitty draft for the Saints. They move up to take Chris Olave at 11, and then they draft Trevor Penning, who's going to be an ass player. He's not going to be a good NFL player.
Oh my God. So
remind me, because I know you did a ton more. Is this the guy who's all the film was out of him? Like, oh, look at him just manhandling people, but he was literally losing every drill.
Yeah,
and the only reason he was manhandling them is it was after the whistle. He was, trying to ragdoll dudes like half his size. Come on, fam.
Okay, Barry, where can everybody find you, and when are you doing your next stream?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch Monday through Friday. Monday through Thursday, I'm on 2 to 4. Fridays, I'm on 11 to 1. It's at Barry on Deck on Twitch. Just go to twitch.tv/Barry on Deck.
I even shouted you out a couple of times while you're doing this. Much better than last time. And look, you were only one of 2 people I wanted to have on this draft show today. I need you to know that. I need you to know that. Okay,
this is just making up for the other night when you excluded
and making up and also
the reindeer games.
Whatever, and making up for kind of almost
wrecking my show,
wrecking your show for the first hour the other day.
I gotta tell you, dude, that was some of the most fun I've had streaming in almost 2 years of doing this. I love that kind of chaos. It was fun.
It was some of the hardest I've laughed watching a stream in a really long time.
Oh wow, that's high praise. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. And I will talk to you later, dude. Peace out.
All right, buddy. Keep it up. This is great. All right.
Thank you so much, man. I love you.
Love you too.
I don't know why I said peace out twice. I said it twice, like peace out. Okay, peace out. Like I wasn't trying to force him out. God damn it. I'm always awkward around Barry. Here's the problem. I used to listen to Barry all the time before I got into radio. So now it's weird that I talk to Barry like an equal, and it fucking freaks me out, guys. Okay, leave me alone. He's like my weird local celebrity crush-ish kind of guy. I have a man crush on Barry. Leave me alone. Barry on Deck, Deckheads, thanks for coming in strong tonight. Coming in strong for Barry being on here. All right, it's pick 20. We're about to bring Paul Galan in here in just a second after this pick gets made. Paul is coming in perfectly for the Patriots pick. The Patriots, that's his team. I want to hear what he said about what he has to say about the Texans pick, about the Seahawks pick. Should we not trust PFF grades? They're a little weird. They're a little iffy. Can you put Trevor Penning's player profile back up there again real fast?
What do you mean by trust PFF grades? They're just one data point.
Yeah, they're okay. I added them in there because it looked pretty on the profiles. That's pretty much
take them. You take them in context, and you got to understand that a lot of it is subjective.
Yeah, well, and he also played at Northern Iowa. So, like, he got a 97.3 playing offensive tackle at Northern Iowa against the competition that Northern Iowa plays against. I'm not a huge fan of Trevor Penning. I'm not. He's a big dude. He's fake tough, but he's not going. I really don't think he's going to be a good offensive tackle in the NFL. Dude, come back in here in 2-3 years. If I'm wrong and Trevor Penning's awesome, come talk shit to me. More than happy to listen to that, but I just don't think that's what it's going to be. Buddy said I knew PFF grades were BS when they gave Josh a 100. Shut up, buddy. I'm definitely a 100 overall. Thank you. Klepter said I'm not a huge film grinder, but I thought PFF calculates their opponent's schedule into their grades. I don't know exactly how they calculate it. A lot of it has to do with like how they perform against opponents that do better against us. I just broke my pen. No, this is the pen that I've been playing with to help focus me. Where's my Vault Boy? Oh my God. But I look, Pro Football Focus is fine. It's okay. But it's not always the best, and it's especially not always the best for offensive linemen. That's where I have the most issues with Pro Football Focus is in the offensive line evaluations. But there's literally no other resource that we can use. But
my God!
Oh no,
Steelers
pick is in.
We took Pickett over Willis.
Whoa! Oh my God! All right, switch the scene. Oh no! Oh Jake. Oh, Jake, with the 20th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kenny Pickett. Jake is immediately drinking more beer. Select Kenny Pickett with the 20th pick while Malik Willis was still on the board. You know what? This is kind of hilarious because both Luke and I are much higher on Kenny Pickett than you are. And I honestly, I wish he wasn't doing his draft on the lawn thing on campus, because I would love to get Luke in here to talk about Kenny Pickett to you. But this dude, Jake, is not okay. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop stealing your moment. Yeah, let's go to the player profile real fast. Let's give Jake a second to recover from this. I do like Kenny Pickett, man. Kenny Pickett, he's 6'3", he's 217. He is a little bit older of a quarterback. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. His PFF grade was 92.2. My biggest issue with him is he gets happy feet in the pocket. He really does. And that's a huge issue with him. But I think he has a good arm. I think he has good vision. I think he's a good quarterback. And I know Stevie Bunn says Pickett over Willis. I've watched a bunch of film on these two guys. I don't really think Willis has these physical skills to be a better quarterback. But we've seen, how many times have we seen quarterbacks with the physical skills to become a better quarterback never become a better quarterback? I'd rather take the guy that can actually play the position. I think Pickett is that dude. I think Pickett is very pro ready. He can come in with these weapons that Pittsburgh has, and I think he can make a little bit of noise. So Kenny Pickett is the pick at number 20. Jake, we're watching the highlights for Kenny Pickett right now. What are your reactions? Does he start?
Does he start?
Yeah.
Probably not. This feels like I don't think it, again, this has proven it, and I've said it for a long time. All these quarterbacks are not very good. None of them none of them in a normal year of quarterbacks would be in the first round. Last year, none of these quarterbacks are in the first round. Next year, probably none of them are in the first round. The fact that the first quarterback taken is at 20, and all these teams trade up and that needed a quarterback and didn't take a quarterback, that says everything. That means 19 other teams, basically all 32 teams, had a chance to trade up and take a quarterback.
Yeah,
and none of them did. That's all the indictment you need.
For receivers, yeah.
That's all the indictment you need to tell you that this quarterback class is not good. I didn't want either of these guys at 20. I wanted Jordan Davis. He didn't fall. I would have taken, I don't know, Bernard Ryman at tackle would have been good. Both the guards got taken. Linderbaum would have been good. I'd have been fine with.
I'm surprised Linderbaum's not already gone, by the way.
A defensive player, whatever.
Anything?
I don't think it was any question that quarterback was still a hole for us, but I like the quarterbacks next year. Mm-hmm. Whether we're going to have a high enough pick or not, this is to be seen, obviously, but you can always trade up for a good quarterback. I said from the very beginning of this draft, as long as we didn't trade up for one of these quarterbacks and blow draft capital next year, I'm fine with it. It's not great. I would have preferred Malik. It's so crazy that we were linked to Malik all through the offseason. Yeah. And allegedly Mike Tomlin was in love with him. As recently as yesterday, Kenny Pickett wasn't in our first round plans at all. Right. So it's a little strange that we're taking. Not strange. Obviously there's a lot of misinformation and smoke leading up to the draft, but it is what it is. I'll root for the guy. He's a local kid. He played at Pitt. I don't think he's starter material. Starter material is top 32, right? I think he's top 30. He can be top 32. I don't think he's elite material. I don't think he has the traits to be an elite quarterback. When you draft a quarterback, you expect him to be your quarterback for the next 10, 15 years. Right. I think Kenny Pickett is not. The chances of him being that quarterback are not high. And again, even if Malik Willis ends up being a bust, I'd rather draft for ceiling than for
just
height.
A floor,
6'3". Yeah. But this is one of those things you just gotta trust the GM, I guess, the scouts, Mike Tomlin. They preferred Pickett over Willis, which is kind of wild.
This is I actually feel bad now. I was gonna kind of laugh and make fun more, but now I just feel like you've been beaten into submission. But I think it's a lot because you trust the front office.
It's not even that. I knew we were going to go quarterback. Like, unless Jordan Davis fell to us, I figured it was quarterback. I wanted Malik because I like ceiling players, not floor players.
Right.
Kenny Pickett.
He's
again,
so
I had him
happy right now. Oh, I'm watching him on ESPN. He's crying. His dad's crying.
Yeah, it's great. This is one of the best spots. This is one of the best spots for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
He gets to stay local. We have, a good offense other than our offensive line, although it is improving. Yeah, I've just been down on this quarterback class, but I'm fine with taking quarterback. It is what it is.
Your reaction to this year feels about the same as your reaction to Najee Harris last year. But I feel at least Najee Harris had a lot of but you wanted offensive line, and then they took Najee Harris, and you were kind of like, we need offensive line, but it's fine. It is what
the problem with this pick is that it takes us out of the running for a quarterback next year.
Yeah.
And 2024. Yep. So we're like, our chips are on Kenny Pickett for the next 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if he's not the guy, then we wasted 3 years. That's my issue. Same with Malik.
That's fair. Gallant says tiny little hands, which is one of the criticisms that you had of him. And speaking of Gallant, let's go ahead, bring Paul in right now. Paul's been in the waiting room, and now we're bringing him in with us. Paul, welcome in.
Hello.
Kenny Pickett, first quarterback off of the board to Pittsburgh. How do you feel about that pick for the Steelers?
Look, you're not thrilled about it. And
no, I'm not.
Right. I don't think anyone should be. It's, I think a guy that doesn't seem to have a whole lot of upside. It's someone who's been in college for a really, really long time. I mean, in a way, it reminds me of Case Keenum a little bit. Not necessarily just based off of his pedigree. I'm just saying when a guy's been there a really long period of time, he's a great college player, but how much better is he actually going to get from this point? So I suppose maybe Pittsburgh is looking at this from the perspective of, okay, he's perhaps the most pro ready. This will keep the Steelers on whatever level they're on right now. But I think that if you're Pittsburgh, you probably are thinking you should take a step back to take a step forward.
Hold on, time out. Your Patriots just traded the pick.
Of course.
The Patriots traded the pick to the Chiefs. The Chiefs have traded up to the 21st pick, and they're most likely taking a receiver here.
What did you think the Patriots would do? I mean, lock of the fucking century. This is all they do. God, it's so annoying. I mean, you try to get excited about the Patriots in the draft, but no, they'll never actually pick anybody. They don't do that.
Oh, the Chiefs.
Hell yeah.
29, 94, and 191. So a third and 121. Wait, so 121 and 191? Say that again, Brett. Okay, so a third and a fourth. That's good.
Bill Belichick has a massive boner over all the value he just got. Yeah.
Ooh,
look at all those picks.
Value boners.
Jesus.
Okay, the draft so far. I think this has been. I didn't think that we'd be this far in the draft. Whenever I finally had you on, I'm kind of glad we are this far in the draft. I'm gonna do what we did with Barry. Let's start with the Texans and then go from there. What do you think about the Texans picks at 3 and 15?
Well, from 13 to pat myself on the back, but I did pick the Texans picking Derrick Stingley Jr. And
yeah, that's true.
This was at least on my radio show. I know when I was in with you guys, I had the Seahawks taking him because he was still on the board. Everything that Lovie Smith was saying this offseason adds up to this. And I tweeted this out at Gallant Says, and the thread is pretty high up on my timeline if you want to see it. But both at the NFL Combine press conference and a little bit later, you heard Lovie Smith basically outline that the Texans are looking for a corner. And I figured, okay, well, that means either Derrick Stingley Jr. or Ahmad Gardner. And Stingley Jr. is the guy that not too long ago looked like some version of Stephon Gilmore. Nick Caserio, of course, who was the general manager assistant essentially with the New England Patriots. I'm sure that he was thinking to himself, you know what? Maybe this is another version of a Stephon Gilmore. And, you think about the Patriots when they won their Super Bowls, they won them due to great cornerback play, whether it's back in the early 2000s with Ty Law, or it's Darrelle Revis in 2014, or it's Stephon Gilmore with the Super Bowl victory over the Rams a couple of years ago. So that move,
Trent McDuffie to the Chiefs.
Okay, Trent McDuffie.
Okay, look, Trent McDuffie. I know people that talked about the Texans taking Trent McDuffie at 13. I just totally butchered his name. I think Trent McDuffie at 21 is really good. So let's go ahead and announce it officially with the 21st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Kansas City Chiefs, after trading with the New England Patriots, have drafted Trent McDuffie, cornerback out of Washington. He's 5'11", 193, had an 86.8 Pro Football Focus grade, Paul's favorite website of all time, Pro Football Focus. Trent McDuffie, I like he's definitely not as good as Sauce or Stingley, but there is a lot to like about Trent McDuffie. He's just a little bit smaller and a little bit slower, but he's a super physical corner.
And if you want to make projections based off of the school he was drafted at, Washington's had a hell of a track record with cornerbacks over the years. So that makes you feel good. I'm looking through my old tweets to see if I actually watched Trent McDuffie in person and if I had some hot take on Trent McDuffie in person, because I did go to a UW game. I believe it was against Cal this year. And if I'm not mistaken, he had a really nice play in that game. So look, that's a nice move by Kansas City. I feel you got to find a way to make sure that when you're in these track meets with teams like Buffalo, that you have somebody who can maybe make a stop at some point, because you can't win the coin toss every single time to win the game ultimately in overtime.
Yeah, I'm just a little surprised they didn't take a receiver here. I guess they didn't really need to. If I were them, I thought when they moved up, I thought for sure it was going to be Christian Watson off the board. But McDuffie's probably the better pick right here because they can still get a really good receiver at 30. The Packers are up next at 22. Do we three collectively, do we think that they are going to take a receiver here? Do they go in a different direction? I know Jake was kind of already leaning in the mock draft last week, was leaning no wide receiver for the Packers, but has that changed for you?
Before all the wide receivers got taken, I was saying the Packers weren't going to take a wide receiver with their 2 picks. Now that all the good wide receivers are gone, there's basically no way they take a wide receiver.
No way they take a pick. Or
they're not gonna overdraft Sky Moore and Christian Watson just because they need a wide receiver.
Paul, what do you think? Do you think they take a pick a receiver here or no?
I think all the good ones are gone. Now, I will say, with Aaron Rodgers at this phase of his career, why are you not one of the teams that's making a phone call to trade up? Why are you not one of the teams making a phone call to trade for Hollywood Brown or to trade for AJ Brown? That to me is a little bit confusing.
Yeah, it's the trade, the AJ Brown. Okay, let's get into those trades. So Hollywood Brown now moving on to the Arizona Cardinals. I like what Marquise Brown did last year, but I like Rondale Moore a lot. I don't know. I guess it's not a horrible trade. I just don't understand it from the Cardinals' perspective, I guess. I feel like that's a lot to give up for a receiver. They picked up his 5th-year option. I think he's good, not great. I feel like that's a lot to give up for Marquise Brown. The Titans obviously trading AJ Brown to the Eagles. The Eagles already gave him a huge contract extension. And then the Titans go and pick Treylon Burks and got a 3rd-round pick in the process.
Linebacker.
Wow, Quay Walker before Devin Lloyd.
I didn't nail it, but I knew they weren't going to take a wide receiver.
I'm really surprised that the Packers are taking Quay Walker over Devin Lloyd. That blows me away. I can't believe Devin Lloyd's still on the board. Yeah, and Nakobe Dean. That's nuts. Shit. Okay. So all the trades that have happened in this first round, talk about specifically those 2 wide receiver trades for AJ Brown and Marquise Brown, and which one of these trades was the one that just made the least sense to you?
Hold on, that's the first pick that nobody had in our mocks. Nobody had Quay in the first.
Nobody had Quay at all? Because they shouldn't have had Quay in the first round. That's wild to me.
I know all my Seahawk fan followers are really thrilled that they're not that team that's making the first pick of a guy that wasn't in the mock draft first round. Because traditionally that is them every single year. Like, hey, we just drafted this guy. Who the fuck is he? Yeah, so it was Jordan Brooks a couple of years ago. And Brooks has actually been pretty solid for them, but also a linebacker. So it's the Packers that are doing it first. To go back to what you were talking about a little bit earlier, Josh, with Rondale Moore, to bring in Marquise Hollywood Brown, it does feel like they are kind of duplicating in that when you have a group of wide receivers, you do want them to be essentially like a Swiss Army knife where you have guys who do different things. And Hollywood Brown is a smaller guy. Rondale Moore is more of a gadget player, the kind of guy that you look at and you think to yourself, all right, he's kind of Tyreek Hill-esque. You know,
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they went after that, and it makes me think about the time in my fantasy football draft where in the first round, one of the guys in my league drafted the wrong running back named Williams on the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you think that they searched Brown? We're thinking AJ Brown. They got Hollywood Brown instead. Whoops.
Oh no, we didn't mean Marquise. Shit. The Bills traded
Ooh.
23. Ooh, please be Brees Hall. No,
No, they're not trading up for
they
Brees.
would never trade up for Brees. Damn. I'm trying to think of who the Cowboys would want here. I have no idea. I'm trying to update like the best available list and it's not freaking updating. Okay, so Tyler Linderbaum, maybe Jermaine Johnson. That's the only one that would make the most sense for me because or George Karlaftis is still available too. The Bills moving up. They probably would take a linebacker here. I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm gonna be really this is Devin Lloyd. That's what it is. It's fucking Devin Lloyd, and the Cowboys are gonna miss out on having Micah Parsons and Devin Lloyd on their defenses. That's gonna piss me the fuck off. Okay, whatever. That's
You have Micah
dumb. Hi,
Parsons
Paul.
already.
I want Micah Parsons and Devin Lloyd. I want them both.
Overkill.
No, there's no such thing as overkill. There's only kill. I want all the kill.
you got the best linebacker in the NFL last year. I calm down. You're fine.
Craig, hold on. In the chat real fast. Craig Harmon. Craig has been in the mock drafts, he killed Jake and I for not taking a receiver for the Packers. All he's been talking about is wanting a wide receiver. And now he's like, Quay Walker, that's okay. I can get behind that, even though I wanted a wide receiver. Excuse me, what, sir? You murdered us for not taking a wide receiver. I'm sorry, Paul. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm not going any further. I'm just saying Micah Parsons is perhaps my favorite player that I've seen drafted defensively in a really long time.
So are you a Cowboys fan now?
I'm not saying I don't like Micah Parsons. So, I mean, vicariously, yeah, why not? Fuck it.
Yes, Paul's a Cowboys fan. Let's go, baby. Okay.
I'm a Micah Parsons fan. I'm one of those modern sports fans who I root for players. I don't root for the jersey.
Craig says, thanks. Come back from ads and you're crushing me. Get wrecked. Okay. What do you think about the Seahawks pick? I know you're not covering them anymore, but you spent a good amount of time covering them. What do you think about Charles Cross?
So
at number 9, which I mocked perfectly, by the way.
Don't you think it's really fucking funny that the Seahawks, after years of not drafting an offensive lineman early, they finally drafted an offensive lineman early
with Russ gone?
And I hope that this was just a petty, spiteful move to just be like, hey, Russ, you always wanted those offensive linemen. Well, we finally fucking got you one, you jackass. Force your way out of town again, douchebag. That's perhaps what is going on in John Schneider's head. Whoever the Seahawks drafted, if Russell Wilson was still there, Russ still would have gotten sacked 40 times a year. Russ holds onto the football a little bit too long. He likes to shoot for those big plays, kind of like Ben Roethlisberger back in the day too. But he takes a lot of sacks because of it. So again, some of it's on the offensive line, but some of it's on Russ. I think that now Seattle's feeling pretty good about where they're at because I feel like the next pick that they're probably going to make is at quarterback, just because, hey, look at the way that things have been playing out. Kenny Pickett's the first quarterback to go. And it was at 20. You could potentially have Malik Willis available to you. You could also potentially have Desmond Ridder available. And if if we had gone to the second round in the little mock draft that we did, Josh, on your draft last week,
I overestimated timing.
Oh, hey, don't no problem at all. I mean, it went a really long time. I think it was a really good show. All I'm saying is, had I been able to come back for the next pick, I would have wanted the Seahawks to take Desmond Ridder. But if Willis is still available, okay, great. They have their pick of the litter, and John Schneider was at Malik Willis's pro day at Liberty. So I feel like that's probably where they go next, is at quarterback. You can't go into next year with Drew fucking Lock and Geno Smith under center.
Kyer Elam for the Bills.
Oh, that's a good pick. I like that for them. I don't feel like they needed to move up for that. I don't think the Cowboys would have taken him at 24. I mean, DBs are always going to help them, but I don't feel like they needed to move up for that. That's a little wild.
Oh man.
But I don't
Stevie Buns and Kevin Alexander both had Kyer Elam to the Bills.
Did they really? Wow. I had Brees Hall. I was optimistic and had Brees Hall to the Bills at 25, whatever. Okay, Paul, one last question before we let you go. Because I know you've been sitting around waiting for a while and you've been more than awesome enough to appease me And what is that? Not appease. What's the word? Humor me tonight. So what have been your favorite picks and least favorite picks so far in this draft?
Ooh, okay. Hang on a second. Let me go back and look through it all. Well, I feel like for the New York Giants to get both Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal to slide as far back as they did, you got to be feeling pretty good if you're New York. I think, going into this, we were talking about Thibodeau as a potential number 1 overall option a couple of weeks ago. And then on top of that, Evan Neal is a guy that a lot of people were looking at as potentially a top 3 pick, and he falls all the way to 7. Now, I know that might be potentially because there are some questions about his medicals. I know I saw that a couple of days ago where you saw that there's something going on. So maybe that's why he fell. But New York at 5 and 7, I'd be feeling pretty good about that. I also feel even better about the fact that they did not pick up Daniel Jones' 5th-year option. So that's good. Everyone's going to, blow the Ravens for drafting Kyle Hamilton 14th overall. It's the most Ravens pick ever.
I'm one of those people. I'm blowing them all over the deal. All over.
Yeah, like if he fell to 14, this was a guy that was supposed to be a top 3 option as well. I'd feel pretty good about it if I'm a Baltimore fan too. Kyle Hamilton also has a pretty good, I think, taste. Yeah. I'll leave it at that. Bonk me if you need to. So that's a nice one for them. And look, I to go to the other trade that we didn't touch on, Philadelphia getting AJ Brown.
Oh yeah.
That's a fucking great move by Philly. I think it's crazy by Tennessee. Your albatross, Ryan Tannehill, needs all the help that he can get going into next year. He clearly was the reason that your season ended the way that it did. But you, in Philadelphia, getting A.J. Brown, I suggested this week on my radio show, hey, Philadelphia, you got these picks. Why not make a phone call about DK Metcalf so they get the other second-round pick out of Ole Miss in the 2019 draft? I think that's a nice move by Philly. We'll see how it works. I saw my buddy Josh Innes, who lives in Nashville, saying that A.J. Brown's a guy that has, I guess, rabbit ears. He's someone who pays attention to the noise. That doesn't exactly work out very well for a lot of guys in Philadelphia. But I think that of all the other moves that we have seen thus far, I mean, Philadelphia made the best trade. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. Barry Laminack in the chat in all caps talking about Kyle Hamilton said he should have went 13 to the Texans. Yeah, he should have. I agree with that. Okay, what's your least favorite move?
Let's see here. Well, if you draft a quarterback in the first round, you are basically saying, hey, this is our guy. So I would say with Pittsburgh and Kenny Pickett, anyone who takes a quarterback early on, though, they're kind of fucked. I mean, this is, as outlined on this show, not the best quarterback class, that's for sure. If I go a little bit further down, sorry, I'm just looking and thinking off the top of my head. The Panthers getting a tackle, I understand it, but it also, to me, feels like that means they're endorsing Sam Darnold as their quarterback again. And I don't know why the fuck you would do that. That to me doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Now,
unless
you would be
trying to make a move for one of those other guys.
Probably.
I think the GM has gotten guarantees he'll be back next year, and he's just trying to sabotage Matt Rule, and then they'll get they'll draft C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young next year, and they want to protect him.
That could work. They don't have a second round pick, so they're not going to be getting one of the Willis or Ritter in the second. I mean, it would make sense if they still had those picks, but they traded for Sam Darnold. You might be onto something in that they're trying to tank to get Bryce Young next year and also blow Matt Rule out in the process. But hey, you got a tackle that would be going into his second year. That move makes a little bit more sense. So now that you've added a little bit of flavor on top of that, after that. It's hard for me to. I used to be very much like, oh, this pick's fucking terrible, blah, blah, blah. I'm just not that guy anymore because we don't know fucking shit. Yeah. Ultimately, with a lot of these picks, you read some of these reports, you watch some of the film, you like some guys, you dislike some. I maybe Drake London to Atlanta out of USC. And I just say that because, okay, it seems like if you're going into Atlanta and you're going for another wide receiver, does that make a whole lot of sense when you're starting from the absolute bottom? Mm-hmm. I don't know about that one, but I'm not like with a pitchfork and a torch here over that move either.
Right.
So I pick it and at 6, Iquanu. Those are the ones I'm looking at, and I'm thinking to myself, huh.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like Icky a lot though, so I can't be super down on it. I think I can definitively say throughout the rest of the first, as the Cowboys are on the clock, no matter what happens here, I can definitively say the Saints moving up to 11 for Chris Olave is my least favorite pick, just because of what they gave up to get Chris Olave. That's the one that I don't like the most. But all right, Paul, tell everybody where they can find you and when the next time you're streaming is.
Huzzah! At Gallant Says on Twitter, at Gallant Says on Twitch as well. And we'll be at it tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We've done a little procrastination this week. This is what happens when you try to do adult things.
Good.
Yeah, trying to find a house sucks. And dealing with the U.S. Postal Service also sucks. So those have been the priorities this week as opposed to, I don't know, creating content. But that's how you find me. And on YouTube as well, youtube.com/Paul Gallant. Gallant. Okay, bye.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you for being
Paul.
patient as well. I love you.
Have a good one, guys.
All right, bye. This absolutely is Jermaine Johnson right here, right? Like, has to be Jermaine Johnson. It's either Devin Lloyd or Jermaine Johnson. I feel like it's going to be Jermaine Johnson.
I mean, they can go O-line here, can't they?
They could. They could, but with Kenyon Green and Zion Johnson off, I guess they could go Tyler Linderbaum. That wouldn't be a terrible pick. But there was a 1% chance heading into the draft tonight. There was a 1% chance that Jermaine Johnson was going to make it to 24th overall. So I know there are some questions about Jermaine Johnson, but the Cowboys, if there's one thing that they've done really well with lately, it's about drafting defensive guys with questions. Now, like, how long do they get them playing at a high level? That's a good question. Like Randy Gregory had a lot of off the field issues and questions about him. He played at a high level for a while, but they also had to deal with suspensions. Jalen Smith, there were questions about his knee. Was that nerve ever going to refire? It did, and then he had a really good season and a half, but now he's just kind of like a shell of himself of what he was. Michael Parsons had questions in the last draft, which is why he fell to the Cowboys, but he was freaking insane. So I could see Jermaine Johnson. I could see Devin Lloyd. If they go Tyler Linderbaum, I'm not going to be upset. But if they pass up Jermaine or Devin Lloyd to take any other offensive lineman other than Tyler Linderbaum, I'm going to be mad. I'll be upset. I really wanted Kenyon Green here. I think Kenyon Green would have been the perfect fit to the Cowboys.
Dallas is going with offensive tackle Tyler Smith out of Tulsa. So that happened.
Bullshit.
Josh, what? I had to stay on camera and give my feelings. Okay, wardrobe change. Sorry.
I don't have highlights on Tyler Smith. There's my feelings. I like there must be something going on with Jermaine Johnson for him to continue to fall and for him to fall to the Cowboys at 24.
I think he got pumped up due to smoke.
Yeah.
And he was a late round pick, a late first round pick, borderline second this whole time. And then this last week started getting smoke up to number 4 overall. Yeah. So I think it was just smoke, man. I think he's not as good as everybody assumed. And like I said, I can't be mad with O-line. I think that you lost Lael Collins, your O-line, Tyron Smith's old. I think you need to shore up that O-line for sure.
DJ says the rumors that the Cowboys wanted Elam. That makes sense. That's super frustrating. I wonder if they would have tried to trade. I just don't like Tyler Smith. I don't. I think he's really, really strong. So like the highlights that they're playing on ESPN, he's really, really strong. Did we show the player profile when I walked away? Yeah, there should be for Tyler Smith. There should be one for him. I just didn't do highlights for him. I did a profile for him, but I didn't do highlights. Maybe. So he's big. He's big and he's really strong, but his footwork isn't great. He's not great in the run game, and he just plays really really high in the passing game in general. He is young and he is big, so I do like that. See, this is what PFF said is Smith's run blocking tape is a sight to behold. I think he's okay. I didn't really see anything special about him in the run blocking game. Yeah, Craig says his run blocking tape is a sight to behold, though. His PFF grade was a 92.3. I don't know. I guess it's okay. He's going to play right tackle. They did need offensive line. I would have rather another position. I think they have more. I don't know. They have more holes on offense than or on defense than people realize. Um, and I would have rather them gone the defensive side of the ball, which is why I wanted Jordan Davis, which is why I would have taken Jermaine Johnson there, which is why. Look, I know he was a late first round, borderline second, but I think that's okay for the Cowboys to reach a little bit there. I really loved his tape. I did watch a lot of his tape. This is before they started pumping him up. I think he's a very good pass rusher. I think he plays with a lot of strength. He plays with a lot of intensity. And I don't know if there's issues about him taking plays off or anything like that, but Stevie said, don't they already have a Ty Smith at offensive tackle? Yeah, they're gonna have 2 Ty Smiths now, but I don't know. It's okay. It's fine. I'm sad. I wanted something else, but it is what it is. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel here. I think I feel like you felt with the Steelers. I would have rather have them gone for
No.
offensive line. I would have rather have them gone Tyler Linderbaum. Why you say
There's
no? Why am I not allowed to feel the way you feel?
You're allowed to feel the way I feel, but I'm just saying, like, the problem with quarterback is, like, when you take a quarterback in the first round,
That's true.
Kenny Pickett has a minimum 3-year lock on the position now. Whereas if you guys take another tackle next year, there's
not a
zero
big
issue
deal.
with that.
Right.
If you take another tackle in this draft, it's not a big deal.
I think the biggest issue with me is like Tyler Smith is like my fear is he's like another Cedric Ogbuehi, somebody who is like big and really strong, but he doesn't really have the form and the footwork and the fundamentals as an offensive tackle
He had
to play at the NFL level.
He had a really high run blocking grade, which
he did, but I don't know.
if you want your offense to flow through Zeke, that's a good thing.
But the offense doesn't flow through Zeke. It hasn't flowed through Zeke for 2 seasons. It goes through Dak. Dak's in the first half of the season they tried to run the ball more, but it didn't work. And part of that is because Zeke's just not he's an okay running back, but he's not a good running back anymore. So like the offense doesn't flow through Zeke anymore, and it shouldn't flow through Zeke. And this feels like this decision was very influenced by Mike McCarthy.
I was told Jerry was making the picks this year.
Were you told by whom?
By Jerry. He said that Taco Charlton was Steven's pick.
Yep. All he's doing is replacing Connor Williams. So I guess we're going to get as many penalties from Tyler Smith as we got from Connor Williams. Super excited about that. Because Connor Williams was penalized, I think, roughly 45,000 times per game for the Cowboys last season. That's a rough estimate. Maybe it's like 44,000. Yeah. Could you look and see if it's somewhere between 44 and 45,000? Could you get the exact number on that for me, please? uh Yeah, I'm happier about the Texans pick. I know Barry was in the chat a second ago and said that his least favorite pick was the Texans taking Stingley at 3. I'm more excited about it now than I was before. And part of that is because Barry hates it. No, I'm kidding. I'm more excited about that pick now that I'm like really looking back at what the Texans did. Like I know it's a reach. Barry says, "LOL." I know it's a reach for Kenyon Green at 15, but I think it's a good that felt like a good reach because I do like Kenyon Green. Now I've got the maroon goggles on, right? Like I've got the maroon and white goggles. I've got the Texas A&M bias. I watched Kenyon Green for his entire career, but I watched him for his entire career play left tackle, right tackle, left guard, and center at a high level. Anytime you have an offensive lineman that can flow in and out of multiple different offensive line positions and play them well, I feel like that's a guy that you're going to be happy to have on your team. So I don't hate it. It's just Tyler Smith feels like a reach for the Cowboys. I hate you. Yeah, I was waiting for somebody to bring that up because it was Travis Frederick, and they were killed for drafting Travis Frederick in the first round as a center. And it was Zach Martin. They took Zach Martin in the first round, and then it was Ty Smith. It was Tyrone. Yeah, it was Tyrone Smith.
Mel Kiper Jr. mocked Ty Smith to the Cowboys.
I hate you, Mel Kiper. You're the worst. I didn't. Okay. That being said, everything that I said about Tyler Smith, I did have him going to the Saints at 23 in my mock draft.
God.
But it made more sense. It made more sense for the Saints to take a guy like him, not the Cowboys.
Ravens are taking Linderbaum.
Oh, what a solid ass pick.
They're killing
draft. What a draft.
They're killing it.
Yeah, they are. Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Linderbaum. That sucks for you, dude.
Hate it.
I gotta look through these and see. I think the early leaders for me for winners of the draft, big winners of the draft, it's got to be the Ravens and the my draft tracker won't pull up now. Excuse you. It's the Ravens or the Giants. It's between one of those two teams. I think the Ravens being able to I'm going to give it to the Ravens a little bit right now. The little bit of the edge, because the Giants always had 5 and 7. Like the Giants were always going to have a pretty good draft at 5 and 7 if they were smart, unless something crazy happened. I think the Ravens not only being able to get Tyler Linderbaum and Kyle Hamilton by trading and standing pat for the most part is wild to me. Like they stayed at 14, got Kyle Hamilton, who per Lance Zierlein on NFL.com was the highest rated player in the draft. And he is a huge difference maker at safety. And then to trade back and still get a guy of Tyler Linderbaum's level. Tyler Linderbaum is absolutely incredible. We have a profile on him too. I don't have the highlights on him though. My bad, Tyler. With the
I think
go ahead.
No, I think the Giants have done well, but I will always grade teams who navigate trades, trading down, gaining more capital, and still taking really good guys ahead of them. Because the Giants just let the draft. They took the best player available. Like that's not okay. You did what you were supposed to do, right? Like the Ravens have traded down, traded a player away, got another pick, traded down again, and they came away with Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum, and a bunch of draft capital. Like that's so far is an A+. Like I think I don't necessarily grade them on like the players necessarily, but how you navigate the draft, get good players on your team, and acquire more assets is always going to be higher on my list for me. So while I think the Giants have had a good draft, they've done nothing to do that. They just kind of stood pat and took their guys, which is great, but
fine. Yeah, they just didn't screw it up. I think it's a good start for Joe Shane. And like for picks drafted, I'd still give them like an A or an A. I'd give them an A. I'm not giving them an A-.
Oh, I grade on a curve, right? So like if the Ravens have done is an A+, then the Giants can't get an A+ too.
No, they have an A. 100%.
They haven't played the draft like the Ravens have.
Can I give a shout out to the Mavericks real fast? I know this is the NFL draft, but I just want to give a shout out to the Mavericks. They're up 34-33 in the closeout game right now with 6:06 left to go in the second. So this is how this is going to work. When the first round is done, unless Brett just wants to stick around with me and stream the Mavericks game, which I don't know that he will. When this draft is done, I'm going to go offline for a second, for like a minute, and then I'm going to bring it back online from my computer so I can finish out this Mavericks game, the second half of this Mavericks game, so we can finish this closeout game. But we'll finish that. No more Mavericks talk. No more NBA. This is the NFL draft, Jake. God. But okay, the Jets are taking their third pick. The Jets trade for the 26th pick. Who originally had this pick again? The 26th pick? The Titans had this pick. That's right. So the Jets are now picking at 26. Shit, what do they take here?
The Jets?
Yeah.
They could take OL. They could take one of these linebackers.
I feel like it's okay. It's Robert Saleh. I feel like it's got to be one of these linebackers. Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd either one of them would be great.
I would love it. I would still love OL for the Jets.
Yeah, that's true.
Protect Zach Wilson. But yeah, I mean, it could be. They got Gardner. They got Garrett Wilson. This could absolutely be a fast linebacker.
Yeah,
a sideline to sideline kind of guy.
Here's the thing, though. What I love about Devin Lloyd too. Oh, Jermaine Johnson is the pick here for the Jets. All right, Robert Saleh taking a chance on Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson falling all the way to the Jets at 26 with the 26th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The New York Jets have selected Jermaine Johnson out of Florida State. Let's get to that profile picture. He's 60. I don't know why I said that. That's super weird. Chaz says the Titans trade pick 26 and 101. The Jets trade pick 35, 69, and 163. I think this is, you fall back a few spots, not too many spots for the Titans, and then you kind of recoup a little bit, get some more picks after the AJ Brown trade. So now they get a second, a third, and a high third, and then what is that? A fourth round pick. So you get a second, a third, and a fourth round pick for trading your first and another and a fourth. Yeah, that's after the compensatory. I'm trying to do this in my head, and numbers plus the inside of my head don't work very well. Jermaine Johnson, edge rusher, 6'5", 254, 82.3 pass rusher grade off of PFF.
Yeah, and this is a guy who, again, was...
Watch some of these highlights, though. Sorry.
He was getting shot up the draft boards. Probably the biggest riser over the last week up mock drafts, and him falling to pick 26. If his talent level is what the experts think it is, then the Jets got to steal here.
Yep.
But you got to think that 28, 25 other teams passed on this guy for a reason. But yeah, it's a position of need for the Jets. They got it. They picked 2 defenders out of their 3 picks. You know, Robert Saleh, probably a big age, says my buddy Dave. Yeah, that's probably a part of it. I don't know if that matters so much for
how old is he?
Defensive ends. Jermaine Johnson is...
Oh, he's 23. So yeah, he is a little older.
A little on the older side. That's not too bad.
He was ACC Defensive Player of the Year, though. I look, from the film that I watched of this guy, I really love his motor. He does not quit. And so I think this is a good pick at 26. I would have loved the Cowboys to take him a couple of picks ago. I think this is good for the Jets. If he were going to go to any team, I think it's good for him. If there are question marks about him as a player and maybe he needs a little bit more development or whatever it is, I think this is a good fit for him to go play for Robert Saleh, because I think Robert Saleh can take some of the stuff that now it's not like Nick Bosa needed a lot of help growing as a pass rusher, but he can take some of what he's done with other pass rushers before as a defensive minded coach and really help Jermaine Johnson along. I think this is a steal for the Jets. I really do. There's kind of a part of me that's now with them getting Jermaine Johnson all the way at the 26th pick. There's a part of me that kind of looks at the Jets draft now and what they've done so far. They got Sauce Gardner at 4, they got Garrett Wilson at 10, and then they make a trade to get back into the first round and into Jermaine Johnson. But I don't feel like they had to really give up a whole lot. Like, it's a pretty decent exchange for them to be able to move up to 26 and get Jermaine Johnson. I think I would maybe pick the Jets. Stevie, I'm so sorry. I think I personally picked the Jets draft over the Giants draft so far, because I think these are good moves that they've made, because the Bucks traded. They traded to the Jags. Yeah, holy crap. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much I like the Jets draft. I mean, I like their first 2 picks. I don't know trading up to get Jermaine Johnson.
That's going to be one of those hindsight things, right? Like, it's going to be one of those things we're not going to know until a couple of years from now. Was it the right move for me right now? Because I'm higher on Jermaine Johnson than you are. To me, this makes this an A draft for me for the Jets, because they get 2 really, really good players at the picks that they had. They get Sauce and as the second cornerback taken off the board. They get Garrett Wilson as the second wide receiver taken off the board, and I like Garrett Wilson better than I like Drake London. There's a reason why in my mock, I'm so pissed about this. I had Garrett Wilson going to the Falcons and Drake London going to the Jets, and it was flip-flop. They flippy-floppied on me, and Drake London went to the Falcons and Garrett Wilson went to the Jets. But I'm higher on Jermaine Johnson, so I think this is a good pick for them. So, like, right now, preliminarily, I might put it at an A-. It's either an A or an A-. The fact that they had to give up a few assets to trade up for Jermaine Johnson kind of is like making me want to put that minus on there. But for me, I think
it
this
was
is one
they
of my
didn't
favorite
they
drafts.
didn't pay a lot, but I don't know.
It's
Again,
still a little bit.
trading up in the draft is usually a bad, unless you're getting a quarterback that can be a franchise changer,
like the Texans, right?
Yeah, totally. But generally,
for a minute they did.
generally trading outside of the top 15, like it's a crapshoot. Like everybody past the pick of 15 for the most part, your odds of them hitting are lower. So you're trading up to 26 to take a guy who was getting a lot of smoke in the top 10, and then he fell all the way to 26. Like that's already a red flag. He's on the older side, red flag, and you're paying a premium to take him. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that, but I mean their other two picks are great from a do the right thing standpoint. I wouldn't give them as high a grade as the Giants, but I still think it's a good draft for the Jets. But that all being said, I said this at the top when they took Sauce Gardner. Dang, Virginia Buttonweed coming through again.
What a VB. VB, what in the world? Holy shit.
54?
No, he's gifted 54 total to the channel. VB, thank you so much, dude. I would shit myself and I wouldn't be back for at least 30 minutes.
5 2 months. Okay, I see it.
I literally would have had to clean myself up, and I'm not talking about from shitting myself. I would have had to clean up the front mess. That's probably the grossest thing I've ever said on stream, and that's what Devin Lloyd. That's a great pick.
Do we trust Michael Silver?
Maybe not, but
yeah. I got more confirmation from other people I trust.
Okay, that's a great pick for the Jags. And look,
so they cut Miles Jack and drafted Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, easy replacement. If you're gonna move back up into the first round for a guy, this is the one that I really like. But if I'm looking at the Jags draft and I'm saying, and I'm thinking, they could have had Aiden Hutchinson and Devin Lloyd, but instead it's Trayvon Walker and Devin Lloyd. I'm not super loving that. I'm just not high on Trayvon Walker number one overall. Dude, VB, thank you so much, man. Wait, VB said how much for poop? I don't know. I don't know. So Devin Lloyd getting drafted. Hold on, let me do this the right way. At 27th overall in the 2022 NFL draft, the Jaguars select Devin Lloyd, linebacker out of Utah. Devin Lloyd, he's pretty big, but he's super fast. Had a 90.2 PFF grade. I love how rangy he is from the linebacker position. Go ahead and go to the highlights because I literally I just kept watching this dude because he's so freaking good. And this is why I would have loved the Cowboys to have him and Micah Parsons. Yeah, it's overkill, but holy shit, you shouldn't be that fast. Look at that pick 6 by him. You shouldn't be that fast as a linebacker. He moves really well. He had an insane amount of interceptions last season for Utah. I think him playing in the Pac-12 is one reason maybe he fell a little bit, but and he's a little like he looks like he has size. Like you look at him on paper, he's 6'3", 237, but he's like, he still seems a little slight. Especially in the run game. He's definitely better in pass coverage than he is in the run game. I think this is an incredible pickup by the Jags. I love Devin Lloyd. I can't believe he fell all the way this far. Barry says, look at VB. Look, VB is the best. I honestly don't know how much for the shits. I may not be able to shit. I've had a little bit of constipation the last few days. I actually took I'm usually not a constipated person. Maybe this is TMI, but y'all are going to have to deal with it. I'm usually not a constipated person. I pooped for the first time today. The last time I had pooped before this afternoon was Tuesday night. And that is not, normally it's like clockwork every day at between 8:30 and 9. Craig says, dude, way too much TMI. I'm sorry, we're a family here. This is what we do. BB with another gifting a sub to Craig Harmon, since Craig had to sit there and listen to my constipation poop talk. But if you gift more, there will be a front mess, and that is officially what I'm calling it with my wife. From now on, when she does something sexy, I'm like, ooh, be careful, or you're gonna give me the front mess, lady. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's an upgrade for him. Bye, Marquise. Now Rashad's your wide receiver 1, Lamar. There's a reason. Let me just tell you guys this. there's a reason why Lamar Jackson has been working all offseason with Rashad Bateman and not Marquise Brown. You want to talk about a guy who is like all on the Rashad Bateman hype train in 2022. I am full on board that train with Jake because I've been watching nothing but Rashad Bateman and Lamar Jackson working together in the offseason. So Marquise, it was fine this last year, but what did he do? What did he do the year before that? And the year before that, he's had like moments, but he hasn't been consistent.
I don't think it's a talent issue. I think that because of the Christian Kirk contract, he was going to ask for a lot of money, and he's not worth a lot of money. And now the Ravens got something in return, and the Cardinals have to deal with his contract now.
Yeah. They picked up the 5th-year option. Now they have to make a decision. It's very telling that they only picked up the 5th-year option and didn't give him an extension. Yufa said, I know was just gifted a sub, but after hearing Josh's poop schedule, can I give it back? I'll go into other schedules on other things. You want me to dive into schedules? Keep talking that shit, bro. Green Bay on the clock at 28 now. Speaking of, I'm so sad that chat couldn't hear you for that one.
Uncalled for.
The ghost in our ears, Brett, aka Two Scoot, just said, speaking of poop, Green Bay is on the clock. And he said that he hopes they take Malik. Sorry, Craig. But yeah.
I mean, this could be Devontae Wyatt. This could be Nakobe Dean. Like, they could go back-to-back linebackers.
Yeah,
I don't...
What
wide receiver?
Too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes defense again, to be honest. I think defense is exactly the Packers' MO.
I don't, unless we see Christian Watson go to the Chiefs at 30, I don't think we see another wide receiver go off the board. VB with another gifted sub to Slowy FSU. Dude, VB, thank you so much, man. You guys have been awesome tonight, by the way. Yeah, somebody said first round only. Yeah, first round, it's just the first round tonight. Jake will be back with me tomorrow, maybe a little bit late, but he'll be back with me tomorrow for rounds 2 and 3. And if Brett wants to join us too, he doesn't have to produce this time. So if he just wants to hang out with us in Discord so people can actually hear when he tells awesome Green Bay jokes, he can hang out with us. But yeah, rounds 2 and 3 tomorrow night, Jake and I will be covering, and Brett if he wants to. And then on Saturday morning, we'll also be doing the rest of the draft rounds 4 through 7, and we'll be on the front page for 2 hours. So we'll be on the front page from poop. I think 11 to 1, 9 to 11. I can't remember what it is. It's one of those two. It's 11 to 1. We'll be on the front page from 11 to 1. Super excited about that. That's going to be great. Actually, I need to confirm that real fast.
So we talked about at the top of the draft, like, oh, this was supposed to be a crazy draft. Nothing's happening. And after the first 10 picks, we got 9 trades, which is the most in NFL history.
Yeah. That's absolutely insane. But we've had nothing in the back half. Which is
the Jags just traded out.
Expected. Well, yeah, that's true. Whatever. Oh, you know what? I forgot that was a fucking trade. Yeah, I haven't seen anything yet either. VB says pay it forward if you like. Thank you so much, VB. Craig says no, Brett has to be quiet.
The Packers will select Devontae Wyatt. Called it.
Okay, good. That's a good pick. That's a really good pick for them. I don't have
Virginia Buttonweed has that mock to them at 28.
Oh, does he really? I have the profile, but I do not have the highlights because, again, defensive lineman taken in the back half of the second round. I don't need to explain this to you guys. But Devontae Wyatt, I actually think Devontae Wyatt had more success on film out of those 2 Georgia defensive linemen. And he's, like I said earlier, he's 304 and he's every bit as fast as Jordan Davis was. Ran a 4.77 40 in the combine. He's a little bit older, but I think he's going to be a great interior defensive lineman for them. I think this is a really, really good pick for the Packers. It's not a sexy pick. It's not a fun pick, but it's a really, really good pick for a Packers defense that they weren't terrible last year, but they needed a little help, and they could have gone a lot of different directions, but they're getting Jair Alexander healthy back this coming season. Aaron Rodgers obviously back. Yes, they need a wide receiver. Your profile says 304, but ESPN says 341. No, Jordan Davis is 341. ESPN says he's 341. They're a little off on that because he's not.
Who?
Jordan Davis was 341, but Devontae Wyatt's 304. We're looking for Devontae Wyatt's weight.
Devontae Wyatt 304.
Devontae Wyatt's weight is 304. That's what I have too. That's what Pro Football Focus have, and that's what we have on our draft master sheet as well. We have a draft master sheet, guys. It's a spreadsheet.
We came prepared.
Are you going to sit there and tell us we're wrong when we have a spreadsheet called 2022 NFL Draft Master Sheet in front of our face?
Oofa, look at this picture. Do you think this guy looks as big as Josh Beard? No, there's no way he's 341.
Fuck you, you son of a bitch.
Brett, go back to the 2-shot. Go back to the 2-shot. Can we get a comparison shot?
Here we go.
Stand up, Josh. Yeah, no way Devontae Wyatt is 341.
Sticking it out a little bit. I think I just shit myself, making my stomach stick out a little bit more.
I'm just kidding. You're beautiful.
Fuck you. But Kyle and I started this weight loss challenge. I haven't weighed myself since, but I did start off this weight loss challenge at 298. So let's not act like I'm that far off from these guys who are professional NFL players. They're eating with a purpose. I'm eating because it makes me feel not depressed. So it just makes my sadness go away. VB says not the minor sheet. Double check. It's not the minor sheet. It's the 2022 NFL Draft Master Sheet. VB. God, Craig says that's a svelte 278 for Josh. Dude, I'm not weighing myself until Kyle and I weigh in at the end. I'm not weighing myself the entire time. I'm following my diet. I'm doing my workouts. I'm going for runs. My knees don't feel like they're going to explode the day after runs now. I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm drinking 100-calorie seltzers. We're good.
Yeah, dude, I specifically didn't buy alcohol because I wanted to be in shape and keep my fitness going. So that's actually why I forgot to buy alcohol. Sleepless in the chat says, have the Texans traded away all their picks yet? They did trade away the 13th, but for the 15th. So no, they have not traded away all their picks yet. Bill O'Brien's not here anymore, man. This is a new day in Houston. Barry says Josh is going to drop 17 pounds once he poops again. I'm not going to lie. Like, until I pooped earlier this afternoon, that I didn't feel great. I was really worried about what tonight was going to be like because I've been very uncomfortable. Did Alabama trade all their picks? That's great. Yufa says I put the pick in the Discord. God damn it, Yufa. For real?
No. He took a picture of what ESPN has up. That's definitely wrong. They have Devontae Wyatt listed at 6'6". He's 6'3". They just have it wrong.
I'm gonna be honest. Go look up Jordan Davis's stats again.
Jordan Davis is listed at 6'6", 341. So they took Jordan Davis's.
Yeah.
ESPN is a racist. ESPN is a racist organization.
They copy pasted that shit.
Devontae Wyatt is Jordan Davis because they wear the same uniform.
Oh, I'm clipping that shit. We're putting it everywhere.
Yeah, they definitely messed that up.
The 100% copy paste.
That's why you're.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, that's not a first round anybody has. First round pick anybody has.
No, hell no.
That's why you watch the Wasted Talent Sports Draft Show and not ESPN. We have the right heights, the right weights. We don't confuse these prospects.
Diligence.
We are what they call in the business professionals.
We are professionals. Due diligence. Even though one of my guys that said offensive tackle instead of offensive tackle, I misplaced the S. Suck it, deal with it. Craig says Casario is going to trade a third rounder for 3 wool vests. That's honestly a pretty good deal. BB says no calories in vodka, right? I think it's either none or very low.
Very few. I didn't know there was a guy named Cole Strange, or else I would have mocked him in the first.
I'll be honest, I don't even know. I'm gonna go on. I don't.
It's very much like our NFL, our Madden drafts every year. Like I draft people based on their names all the time.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Shots fired, you son of a. Okay, go ahead and throw that bad boy up there, though. Let's go ahead and do that real fast. Yeah. Look, they might as well have just drafted me instead of Cole Strange. That my last name is better. My nickname is Elite. I am classless. That's me literally, guys. I know y'all are gonna think I'm embellishing and joking. That is actually me catching a touchdown pass from Andy Dalton back in 2000 when the Super Bowl was here in Houston. So yeah, 100 Pro Football Focus ranking, and Pro Football Focus even said I'm pretty much just the greatest there is. What more do you need? I'm taller than Jake per these graphics. Like literally everything is perfect.
Is this a card from ESPN? Because you clearly got the height weight wrong on Josh.
No, height weight wrong is exact, literally
It's
exact.
we pulled this player profile information from
No,
ESPN
no
clearly
way,
because
that does look like a baby picture that they would show in a Netflix documentary about a serial killer when he was a kid. It's like, this is John Wayne Gacy before.
I just want to rub it in to Craig for one more time. If you would have told me pre-draft that the Packers would have 2 first-round picks and come away with 0 wide receivers and only defensive players, I would have absolutely told you that's 100% happening.
Yeah, he did predict that.
This is not strange. This is exactly what they do. They don't take wide receiver. They don't take skill position players in the first. It just doesn't happen.
Chaz, I actually already did do that. I applied for both of those jobs. VB with the 100 biddies. Thank you very much, my friend. Sleepless Elite sent me a link to a Discord. Okay, it's the same. I don't look like Bill O'Brien, dude. Stop sending me that. If you want that graphic on the screen, send it to Brett, because Brett's the one running this. God damn it. I guess he doesn't. I'm not Toof O'Brien. God. Okay. I thought the graphic was still up for a second. Eupha says, well, actually, I don't look like Bill O'Brien. It's why I grew the beard out, damn it. Ugh. Let me look on the Pro Football Focus big board. Cole Strange was a linebacker. I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Where is he? Is he an outside linebacker? What is he?
Cole Strange?
Yeah.
He's nothing. They just drafted because of the name.
I think he's a created player. I think they created him in Madden. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. This is that. Okay, yeah, he must be an outside linebacker. That's got to be what it is.
He plays outside accountant. He's accountant number 3 on. He's an accountant number 3 on my big board.
Guard. Okay. That's fine. That makes a little. I thought you said he was a linebacker. Oh, outside lineman, Brett. What is that? That's not a position. So don't stop yelling at me. Nobody can hear you. It just sounds like I'm going crazy. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh, he was the 4th guard on there. Okay, I guess that's not bad. I just, after Kenyon Green, I just didn't pay attention to any of the guards, if I'm being honest. Except for Dylan Parham and Marquise Hayes, but after that, I just didn't care anymore. God. Guys, Brett just yelled at me. Jake heard that. Did you hear that, Jake?
I wasn't paying attention.
How are you not paying attention? It was super loud. Jake, what are you doing right now?
I'm pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh shit! 100% just blanked out twice. That is great. Oh, that's not bad.
He only benched 31 pounds.
No. Oh god, how many of those drinks have you had, Jake?
Hold on, let me check.
Craig said outside receiver. Oh, apparently he's a center. Google said
I have had 4.
4 and you're lit?
4, bro.
How much alcohol is in them?
I don't 5%.
Jake.
I don't drink, dude.
That's true. I don't either. That's why the seltzers. Last time I had seltzers, I had like 6 and was like feeling pretty good.
Yeah. Like I'm feeling good. I'm not like wasted, but I'm like 6 out of 10.
It is. That's true. Yeah. That's why I'm so sad that I didn't have any. Craig says lit on 100-calorie seltzers, lightweight. Yeah. The Chiefs have to take George. Okay. This is insane to me. Why has George Karlaftis fallen this far back?
I don't know, man. They love his tape.
I loved his tape. Is there maybe some like secret injury concern, or maybe he just didn't interview well? But if
Karlaftis
the Chiefs
to the Chiefs,
yeah, is it Karlaftis to the Chiefs?
Yeah,
at 30. That's a steal, man. That's an absolute. So George Karlaftis, this is where he should have been drafted. Everybody, I have a profile and I have tape on him. So here's the George Karlaftis profile. BB says Hannah McNair will try out for QB so she can have more control. She just needs to marry Jack Easterby, and then she has all the control.
I had Karlaftis 9 to the Seahawks, so I thought highly of him.
Sleepy says anyone from Clemson? Yes. No, Andrew Booth is the only one from Clemson who is projected in the first round, and he has not been drafted yet. Although I could see him maybe going to the Bengals or the Vikings here in these last two picks. But yeah, George Karlaftis, 6'2", 266, pretty high grade. He's good in the run game. He's a good edge rusher. I love this pick for the Chiefs. I think this is a great pick for him, and you can go to the highlights whenever you want to. VB says because every time he makes a sack, he smashes the glass and says, "Oh, hey, God damn it!" George Karlaftis had good film for me. I think he's got a really great motor. He's kind of like maybe he fell because he's that lunch pail guy. He's not an insane talent, but he's going to be a consistently good talent for the team that he plays on, but he doesn't give up on plays. He has a couple of really good pass rush moves. He can swim well. He can bull rush well. Like, I really like what he does. He's not crazy fast and crazy athletic, but he's a football guy, man. If that makes sense. Jake may not like me saying that, but he's a football dude. Craig says a versatile Ironman, 100%. A great motor guy, aka white guy. Yeah, that's a little bit of that. Do you say he was good at motorboating? I don't know. He might be good at it. It's not hard to motorboat, though. I think being good at motorboating is wildly overplayed by people. In fact, I think motorboating in general is wildly overplayed by people. Like, I don't really think motorboating is something that I enjoy very much. It's not fun. You either get smothered or there's nothing there. There's no good in between. Okay, and again, you're hurting my feelings when nobody can hear the things that you're saying to me. Even Jake's been out for like 30 seconds. I don't think he heard a single word that was being said.
I heard
until you brought up men motorboating me. Thank you very much, you jerk.
Yeah, I mean, I heard motorboating, snapped me right back into it.
I'm glad I decided not to talk about the Mavericks anymore for the rest of the draft show because, oh my God, it is not going well right now. Two more picks left to go in the draft. We already know the Chiefs are taking who was it again? George Karlaftis. Yeah, the Chiefs are taking George Karlaftis here. This kid, he's excited. If there were any time to fall in the draft, wouldn't it be great to fall in the draft and go to the fucking Kansas City Chiefs? Be like, okay, I know I didn't get drafted in the top 10 or top 15 like people had mocked me to, but I am fine going and playing in the playoffs and maybe winning championship. Craig says Jake zoned out. Lightweight.
Yeah. I'm trying to read Twitter and it's not going well.
What's the better zone out? Kyle whenever he partakes in the devil's lettuce, or Jake right now off of 4 seltzers? Jake's having a hard time using words ATM. I think Jake's having a hard time reading words at the moment.
I'm just trying to figure out who this Cole Strange guy is, and it's such a Bill Belichick draft. Like, all the Twitter people are like, who?
Yeah. Okay, the Bengals are picking right here, and the top guys, this is crazy. We're going to make it out of the first round without Malik Willis getting drafted, but I'm not surprised at all in any way whatsoever. Top talent on the board: Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Nakobe Dean is there. The Bengals could probably go there. David Ajabo's there. Bernard Raymond's there. Jaquan Brisker. They won't go Breece Hall. They won't go Desmond Ridder. Andrew Booth is still there. Daxton Hill is still there. There's still definitely some names on the board that they could go with. My gut tells me this is it's going to be Dax Hill. I was about to say it's either going to be Nakobe Dean or Daxton Hill. That was my gut. So officially, who is that? Is that per Breer? All right. Per Albert Breer on Twitter, with the 31st pick in the 2022 NFL draft, the Cincinnati Bengals have selected Daxton Hill. I don't think I put together highlights for him. I don't think I did. I think I just did the profile. I can't remember anymore. Oh no. Oh God. I was about to try to look at the chat and I accidentally closed it. Son of a bitch. I closed all of my Twitch stuff. Oh, at least I can read.
I can read. It just takes me a
Barely.
minute. I gotta stare at it.
Okay. Yes, one quarterback
Only
taken.
one. Kenny
Which
Pickett.
one? Can he pick it to the Steelers at 20?
He went to the Steelers.
Daxton Hill, from some of the film that I watch, I do like him. He's very rangy. I think he plays really well in man. I don't think he's a great zone safety. And Pro Football Focus says it here, but I think he's gonna mainly play the slot. He can move around between safety and cornerback. He's a versatile
Ooh.
player for the Bengals, and I like it.
BSG got Daxton Hill right to the Bengals.
Oh, really? Nice. Good job, BSG. So
Uh,
now one pick left to go in the first round. One team left, the Minnesota Vikings at 32. Now, do the Vikings take a quarterback here?
I
Malik,
mean,
Malik Willis is a project.
there's
and
no way you pay. Listen, the whole point of taking a quarterback in the first round is to maximize their window of being cheap.
right.
If you're not maximizing that window, you're doing it wrong, which is why people have a huge qualm with the Packers drafting Jordan Love and then not playing him, right?
Right.
They just gave Kirk a huge extension, all guaranteed. Their quarterback room is very expensive, whether they take a rookie or not.
Right.
Like taking Willis now and then having him sit for a year or two, if he's not the guy and you just wasted all that time, like it's just, I don't know. I mean, listen, at 32, there's not a whole lot of reaches here.
Right.
But do I think a quarterback here makes sense to them? No, because you just paid Kirk a ton of money. If they didn't pay Kirk all that money on the extension guaranteed, I would absolutely love them taking a quarterback.
My two off the wall picks that I don't think happen, but would be fun if they happen. Number one, Malik Willis, and number two, Brees Hall. With Dalvin Cook getting a little older, I know they like Alex Madison, but again, Alex Madison's not a young dude. But it's another one of those, like, you're putting a lot of money and a lot of assets in the running back position. But Brees Hall would give you a guy that would suck for Brees Hall and people that want to buy Brees Hall. That'd be hilarious. Because I know a guy in the Dynasty League, our friend BMAC, traded up to the number one overall pick specifically because he wanted to take Brees Hall. And if the Vikings drafted him here at 32, I think it would be so amazing because he traded Dalvin Cook away. And part of the stuff that he got for Dalvin Cook is what he used to get the number one overall pick. So he would just be getting Dalvin Cook's third string backup if he took Brees Hall. I don't think that happens. I think they'd be fun off the wall things. My guess here is Andrew Booth. Either Nakobe Dean or Andrew Booth. That's what my guess is here for the Vikings at number 32.
Yeah, I think they could use corner.
Yeah.
I feel like you're settling with Andrew Booth unless they just have some high grade on him. But like they could have stayed at 12 and gotten a better corner, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Had their pick of the
100%.
corners.
Do you think that they're regretting that trade now a little bit?
Yes, because they sold their pick for very cheap compared to what other teams got after them.
Yeah.
They got much better hauls after them, and they kind of blew that.
Yeah.
But they always perennially need O-line. There's some tackles left that they could take. They've mocked a lot of wide receivers, so maybe Sky Moore would be a good fit there.
Do you think now I know they have top 5 tight end Irv Smith Jr. Do you think there's a chance we could see Trey McBride go here? Because they need a tight end.
Yeah, they like having 2 tight ends, but I don't know. I think it's a little early for Trey McBride.
It's way too early for Trey McBride. But again, it's the Vikings. Woody Page 15 minutes ago apparently said the Broncos will trade up in the second round to get a player they have listed as a first rounder. I don't know who the hell that could be.
Oh man, so the Rams are doing a live press conference and the GM Les Snead says they're talking about the Patriots taking Cole Strange at 29. He said we wasted our time watching him for number 104 overall. So that just tells you where most teams had Cole Strange. A lot of people are saying this is the biggest reach of the draft so far.
Well, I can definitely agree with that, but it doesn't feel like because it was Belichick and because it's the Patriots, it's totally going to work out.
No, I think that like of all, like people have done studies of it. PFF Moo on Twitter did a study going back to 2013, and like when you take somebody a certain amount of picks above what the community has, they generally don't work out. They generally don't give you any more. They don't give you the amount of value that draft pick should give you in the first round. It actually it trails off exponentially as you get further in the draft because it just doesn't matter if you're reaching on players in the third round.
Right.
And in the first round, if you reach in the top 15, it's a lot worse, obviously, than the back half. But even still in the first round, like when you draft a player, 50, 60, 70 picks before when they were projected to go, you lost out on a ton of value. And that's what seems to have happened here. Like the Patriots could have traded down and still gotten this guy late in the second. So that's what it is. But again, any pick from like 25, 26 on, you're just kind of taking your guys. But it happened with the Steelers. We drafted Terrell Edmonds, who was rated as like the 100 prospect. We took him at like 27th overall or something. And he became a serviceable starter for us, but it's like that's not really what you're looking for in a first rounder. You want somebody who can make a difference, and he was just kind of average, like not a lot of wins above replacement. So I think it's a huge overreach. I don't give anybody, even Bill Belichick, the benefit of the doubt on the.
Yeah, that's I just saw that. Lewis Sign, yes, Lewis Sign safety to the Vikes.
It's great. I think
that's a good pick for them. I totally forgot he was still on the board. 100% forgot.
Pairing him up with Harrison Smith is sick.
Yeah, that's going to be a really, really good safety duo. Again, for a lot of people that are watching, they're not going to think that's these last two picks. They're not going to think are very sexy. Daxton Hill and Lewis Sign are both very good safeties. Georgia had an insane defense. Like, think about how many Georgia defensive players were just taken in the first round. Trayvon Walker, number 1 overall. Jordan Davis went early on. I can't remember what pick. Then Devontae Wyatt, and Lewis Sign. And I thought, I really, really honestly thought that Nakobe Dean was going to go as well. But the fact that they had that many players drafted, and Quay Walker going to the Packers at 22, they had 5 players taken, 5 defensive players taken in the first round, which is just absolutely nuts. All right, with the 32nd pick in the 2022 NFL draft, I almost said the Dallas Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings select Lewis Sign, safety out of Georgia. Okay, real talk. Lewis Sign was one of those guys that he was like a borderline guy that I almost made a player profile for, and then decided against it because I didn't think he would go in the first round. And sure enough, of course, he ends up being the freaking 32nd guy. I even thought to myself, what if he goes 32nd overall? Just go ahead and make it, Josh. But I was really tired and didn't want to do it, so I didn't do it. But guess who I did make a player profile for? Fucking Matt Corral. Guess who I did make a player profile for? Fucking Sam Howell, Malik Willis, whatever. I made one for Breece Hall. I made one for Sky Moore, for Christian Watson. None of them were first rounders. But at least they do look good. At least I do have some player profiles and some highlights to play for day 2 tomorrow. Yeah, for tomorrow. We got a couple to play. We'll roll them out every once in a while.
I mean, other than the trades and all the wide receivers going, the biggest story of the draft is Malik Willis not going in the first round.
And what was it that you said all along?
I just retweeted what I tweeted him the night of the thing where I made the meme from the sign. Don't make me tap the sign. Malik Willis isn't a first round talent. I mean, I've been saying it for months.
Yeah, he's a Malik Willis truther. But look, he wasn't. Everybody knew. Kenny Pickett wasn't a first round talent either, but a quarterback was going to go in the first round. At least one quarterback was going to go to the first. When you called it all along that the Steelers would take a quarterback at number 20, but a quarterback was always going to go all along. And now as we look into the second round of the draft and we look at like what teams there are sitting at the top of the second round, and you see Malik Willis, you see Matt Corral, you see some of these other guys, like it's good. I still kind of wonder how far they end up falling. Like, do the Seahawks are the Seahawks going to be the ones to take Malik?
Well, that's the thing is like the Vikings probably would have moved down, right? And if you wanted to take Malik, if you're a team that has a pick, the first 10 picks in the next round, the second round, why wouldn't you just move up to 32 and lock Malik in for 5 years?
Yeah.
Now he's only going to be a 4-year quarterback. So that tells me that nobody in the next 10 picks really wants him.
No, there's no way. Like you've got the Bucks, nope. Vikings, nope. Titans, nope. Giants, nope. Texans, nope.
Bucks is super interesting. If the Bucks took Malik Willis as the backup to Tom Brady,
That's a fair point, especially because that gives him a year or two. And he gets to learn from Tom Brady.
Yeah, that's an interesting fit. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's definitely one of the biggest stories of the draft. About they were mocking him to the Lions at 2, to the Panthers at 6.
Yep.
Steelers trading up into the top 10 to get him, and he just falls out of the first. And this also, like, obviously we'll never know because he got taken too early, but this definitely says to me we're taking Jordan Davis at 20 if he was there.
Yeah, 100%. I think if he doesn't go to the Bucks at 1, the next likely spot would be, if he doesn't go to the Bucks at 33, then the next likely spot would be for him to go to Seattle at 40 or 41. And then after that, then maybe the Lions get him at 46. But like Luke thought that we were off, and people thought that we were off seeing Malik go 32 to the Lions in our community mock draft. Let's just say this real fast. Shout out to the freaking Toof Troop, because we nailed that shit. We nailed that. Well, maybe we didn't nail it, but him falling that far and only one quarterback going in the first round, we absolutely nailed it. Let me go back and go through some of the chat real fast. Craig said, I'd love to see the Vikes draft a long snapper. Yufa says, woohoo, second round, let's go Niners. Day 2 is going to be fun, VB. Yeah, you guys make sure you all show up tomorrow night. We're going to be doing day 2. What time does it start tomorrow? 6? I know that day 2 typically starts a little bit earlier.
Yeah, they got to get through 2 rounds. I think it'll be
NFL draft day 2 start time.
7 p.m. EST.
Yep, 7 p.m. EST, so 6 o'clock Central. We will be live at about 5:45 tomorrow. Looking forward to the second round. Some of the names that are on there, I want to get an update on the community, on the Toof Troop mock draft challenge. I want to get an update on that in a second, as long as you still know how numbers work right now.
I haven't been adding them up, but I think just by looking at it, I think Kevin Alexander's probably in the lead.
Really? Oh, Kevin called it. You think he's probably in the lead? Because we only did it for the first round, right? How many points did I have? How many points does Kevin have right now, and how many did I have?
Oh my god, dude, I can't right now.
Oh my!
You're trying to make me do math?
4 seltzers in. That's literally what you're going back to school for right now, Jake.
Can I? Yeah, I know, but I didn't do a spreadsheet, which I should have, because I could have just auto summed.
Miz says that we're picking round 3 of the Toof Troop draft. Yes, sponsored by Pittsburgh Marauder Chicken Salad. Didn't Kevin win the March Madness bracket too? Yes, he did.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna post the pictures in the Discord, and you can count them up yourself.
Oh, that's not happening. No, I didn't even want to do it from the beginning. You're the one from the jump who said, I'm gonna keep track of them until I get drunk. Apparently, is what you really meant.
That's what happened. Yeah, I didn't think that 4 seltzers was gonna take me out of the math game, but it did. So
okay, let's look to tomorrow before we go ahead and shut this down and end this. Tomorrow, first 5 picks of the second round, we've got the Buccaneers, the Vikings, the Titans, the Giants, the Texans. There are a lot of really interesting players that are still available. What the hell? Where did my other page go? Give me my other page, damn you! There's still a lot of really interesting players that are left on the board right now. If we go towards undrafted players, you still have Malik Willis. We have Nakobe Dean. We have David Ajabo. Bernard Raymond is still there, who I fucking did a player profile for. Jaquan Brisker. Breece Hall, I think, is the most... Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker. Now that we're getting into the second round, other than Malik Willis, those are the 2 most interesting names to me right now in the second round, especially and Christian Watson, George Pickens. There's still some names there, like
George Pickens, Christian Watson, Sky Moore.
Hold on, roll with me on this. Do you think that there's a chance the Titans take Breece Hall at 35?
Probably not.
But some Derrick Henry insurance? You don't think so?
No, man. Like, why? That's a lot of draft capital for a backup running back.
That's fair. But to be the future starter though, like we've seen teams do that before.
Bro, they don't have a long life. Why would you draft somebody to sit on the bench?
That's true. That's fair. Well, okay, don't act like teams don't do it. Like AJ Dillon.
No, sure. Like, I mean, I think. Yeah, I mean, Willis to the Titans is interesting.
Willis to the Titans is interesting. Willis to the Giants is interesting, honestly.
Yes. I agree.
You know what? The first spot where I legitimately think we could see Breece Hall go might be at 37 to the Texans.
Yeah, that's great. I'm fine with that.
That would be a. Now, if the Texans, if the first 3 picks in the first and second round for the Texans end up being Derrick Stingley, Kenyon Green, and Breece Hall, I'm feeling really happy about the first and second round for the Texans. At least those
Brees
first
Hall.
3 picks.
Brees Hall could go to the Bucks.
Yeah.
Brees Hall could go. I mean, if the
Why
Giants are
would
serious,
you draft Breece Hall to be a backup to the Bucks?
he would be the starter in the Bucks. Are you kidding
Oh
me?
no, they just gave Leonard Fournette all that money. He would be the backup.
They didn't give him any money.
He's the starter, Jake. Breece Hall would be the backup.
No, Brees Hall would be the 1A there. If the
Would he be
Giants
the
are going to
starter?
trade Saquon, then
Yeah.
Brees Hall's interesting. Texans is
Um,
good.
What about the Jets? Do you think they take? They took Michael Carter last year. Do you think they take Breece Hall?
I don't think so. I think they're fine
Me
with their
neither.
platoon.
Yeah, I think so too.
Seahawks is interesting.
Yep. Imagine if the Seahawks go. What if they went Malik Willis and Breece Hall back to back at 40
That'd be
and 41?
sick.
That'd be
Falcons is
ridiculous.
interesting.
Yep. Falcons is very interesting.
Yeah. Let me see.
Nobody else really needs them.
Not really. Eagles, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not a big Miles Sanders guy.
Cardinals, maybe?
Cardinals.
Question mark?
Yeah. They just got rid of Chase Edmonds. I
And
don't think James Conner's like the alpha.
The Bills, maybe at 57.
And the Bills again, Falcons again.
Yeah.
Bucks again.
That's gonna be crazy. That's gonna be fun to watch. I think there's a lot. Hey, Art, what's going on, dude? I think there's gonna be a lot of fun. Stevie says, did you say if you were streaming it tomorrow? Yes, we will be streaming day 2 and day 3. So we're gonna be streaming the second and third round tomorrow, starting at 5:45. We'll be 5:45 Central. And we're gonna stream day 3. On day 3, we'll be on the front page from 11 to 1 Central, from 11 o'clock a.m. to 1 p.m. Central. We will be on the front page of Twitch covering day 3 of the draft. And I'm pretty sure of all the Twitch sports people, we're the only 2 people that are degenerates enough to actually care to cover day 3 of the NFL draft. Because and Jake and I are going to be like, oh, I can't fucking believe that Tolbert went in the 5th round instead of the 4th. We will legitimately dive into all that stuff. But yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get out of here for right now. Round 1 in the books, a bunch of crazy shit happened, trades all over the place. I feel like some teams did well. Oh, you know what? Let's give everybody our official favorite first round drafts. Who do you think did the best in the first round for you?
Ravens.
And
I hate it.
Brett, Brett, I know nobody can hear you, but who do you think did the best in the first round? Brett said the Bears because they did not trade up and do something stupid. Stevie wants to know if we can get player profile graphics for day 3 as well. Yeah, sure, dude. I'll shoot the template over to you. You can start putting those together for me. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Brett said he'll draw them. Yeah, I think it's got to go to the Ravens, right? That should be a consensus no-brainer best first round for everybody. It's just wild what they pulled off. Making no moves or making smart moves. They wait for Kyle Hamilton at 14. They make a minor move to get Tyler Linderbaum at 25. I think that they had the best. The only team that I would have, there are only 2 teams that I would have up in the A or A- category near them would be the Giants and the Jets. I like what the Giants did. I personally like what the Jets did, even if Jake is a weirdo and doesn't like the Jermaine Johnson move, but I like what the Jets did. But yeah, it's the Ravens. Number 1 had the best first round. I like what the Texans did too. I know people are going to look at that Kenyon Green pick and they're going to be like, why would they do that? And yes, it was reach. It was a reach, but I think 2 or 3 years from now, Kenyon Green's going to be one of those really solid offensive linemen for the Texans, and people are going to be like, I love Kenyon Green. Why were we ever upset that the Texans drafted? But for right now, I get if they don't think it's sexy. What do you think? You never really said anything on the Kenyon Green pick.
Yeah, I think he was overdrafted.
He definitely was that.
So I'm never a big fan of reaching. If they wanted him, they should have traded down. And a lot of experts had Zion ahead of him. So I mean, whatever. The Stingley pick is really interesting. If he is 2019 Stingley, that's a great pick.
Yeah.
If he isn't, then picking him over Sauce is
going to be a mistake. That's the one that really bothers me. Is I think I would have just rather have had Sauce because we don't have to worry about. At least I don't feel like with Sauce, you don't have to worry about if he is former. You know what I mean? There's no question there. It just
doesn't make sense for a team like the Texans. Like, you need to get talent on your team. And I think, don't get me wrong, I think Stingley absolutely could possess the talent, but he's a big risk. If you whiff on your number 3 overall pick, like you're not going to be good for a long time. You
Agreed.
need all, especially after what Bill O'Brien did to the team and wasted so much draft capital. Like you need to hit on your players. And I'm not saying you need to take the safest players because again, I'm not a low floor kind of guy. Stingley absolutely has a high ceiling and could be a shutdown corner. But if you miss on this pick, you just wasted a huge amount of draft capital that you absolutely need to get correct.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Art wants to know if I was stoked about the A&M guy getting drafted in the first round. Yes, and I'm stoked that he's coming to the Texans. But I do agree with Jake that it was definitely an overdraft. Miz says Packers. The Packers have the best draft for not drafting Aaron Weapons. Suck it, Aaron. Lions fandom coming through super hard. Happy birthday, Noah. Yeah, Brett, the Bears fan in our ears, the ghost in our ears, says he agrees. All right, let's go ahead and get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 5:45 Central. We'll be ready to go. I'm actually going to go buy myself some alcohol tomorrow, and nobody can stop me except maybe my wife. Oh yes, I actually we're getting out of here. Hold on, listen, guys, I totally forgot about that. Thank you very much, Brett. Don't say goodnight to me. Don't say goodnight to me. Happy birthday, everybody! Stick around because while it is the draft show is ending, I am then going to be taking over from my end with OBS, and we're going to continue with a watch party for the Dallas Mavericks because the Mavericks, even though they were down by 12 before, found a way to magically bring it back, and they're only down by they're up by 2. Let's fucking go into the fourth quarter, baby. End of the third quarter. Mavs are up 72-70. So stick around, stay here for just a second. It's going to go down for a half a second, and then we're coming right back up with a Mavericks watch party. And since it's the fourth quarter, I won't play games. I will just pay attention to the game, but stick around like 2-3 minutes, something like that. I'm going to go pee real fast, grab myself something to drink, not alcoholically. Sadly, sucks. And then I'll be right back with the Mavericks watch party. So stick around, everybody. We'll see you in just a minute. Jake, thank you for joining me for day 2. Let's get ready for wait, hold on. Jake, thank you for joining me for day 1. Let's get ready for day 2. I can't even remember my days.
You're not even drunk, dude.
I know. This is me normally. Imagine if I had 4 seltzers like you.
I know.
Out of my mind.
We would need Brett unmuted to run this thing.
All right. Peace out, everybody. I'll see you in just a few minutes.
Later, guys.